Lenny Dykstra. Batting second, the shortstop, Mariano Duncan. Hitting third and playing at first base, John Kruk. Batting cleanup, the catcher, Darren Dalton. Batting fifth, the left fielder, Pete Incaviglia. Batting sixth, playing right field, Jim Eisenreich. Batting seventh, the Phillies third baseman, Kim Batiste. Batting eighth and playing second base, Mickey Morandini. And batting ninth, Phillies right-hander, Curt Schilling.
Defensively for Felipe Alou's Montreal Expos this evening, Frank Bullock is at first base. Delino DeShields is at second. The rookie Mike Lansing at shortstop. Sean Berry at third base. Moise Salou is in left with Marquise Grissom in center and Larry Walker in right. Tim Laker gets the assignment behind the plate tonight for the Expos, and on the mound, 6'3", 225-pound right-hander Kent Bottenfield. Bottenfield is a four-pitch pitcher, fastball, curveball, slider, and change, and in the past, when he's had success, it's been because he's been able to mix all four pitches and keep the ball down in the strike zone. The Expos people tell us that, we really don't know, or they don't know, which Bottenfield is going to show up on any given night. There are nights when he's just completely in control, and then there are other nights when everything in the world goes wrong for him, and most of that is dictated by his control. This year in 57 and a third innings, he's walked 26 batters, giving up 58 hits. But I think probably the biggest thorn in his side is in that 57 and a third innings, he's given up 10 home runs. So if he's in one of those modes tonight where he's walking some people and giving up those base hits, if he's not on top of his game, the Phillies can look to get some base runners on and then pop one of those long balls and throw a big inning at him.
Good idea. Take the Phillies lead the National League with their 70 home runs, and you're right, he does give up a lot. As witness his last game, he lost a heartbreaker to the Cardinals on Friday, 1-0. Went 7 innings, gave up 7 hits and 1 run, and you guessed it, it was a home run. Bernard Gilkey hit it, and it cost him the ball game, 1-0.
I think we should mention that Bottenfield is getting the start tonight because Ken Hill, who was supposed to start, is missing his second start in a row with a pulled groin muscle.
Yeah, we thought he was skipping his last one to pitch against the Phillies. Now we know better. It really was serious, and he's now listed as the starting pitcher for the game next Saturday. Well, this is a big game for the Phillies. They've been winning every series, it seems. They've only lost 2 all year, 1 at Chicago, 1 at Atlanta. In order to be able to say they win this one, they need this ball game tonight, as the Phillies won here Monday and the Expos won here last night. Dykstra, 281, leads it off. That's Rich Rieker calling balls and strikes. Lenny now has scored runs in 10 consecutive ball games. Is there a better measure of a leadoff man than that?
Well, Lenny's been getting on base, making things happen, and yeah, we've seen in the past that is one of the keys to this Philly lineup. There are a lot of them, especially this year, the way everything's been clicking. But one of them is right at the top, and it's Lenny Dykstra getting on base, making things happen for the guys down the order.
Been doing it all year long. Lenny has started every ball game. And he works a pitcher like he's doing right now. He will allow his teammates to sit in the dugout, take a look at what Bottenfield displays tonight, as he himself checks out the velocity and whatnot. The 2-1 pitch. 2-2 on Lenny. Lenny up among the league leaders in doubles. He has 19 of them to rank second in the league. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Dykstra, leading it off. Lenny walks a lot, 44 free passes. That's 4th in the National League. Inside, and another full count. He hits probably with more full counts than any other hitter I can think of.
Especially the first at bat of the ball game. Very, very seldom will you see Lenny not try to at least work the pitcher deep in the count early in his first at bat in the ball game. He's done it again here tonight.
3-2 pitch. In the air and foul, out of play. The umpires tonight, Rich Rieker behind the plate. Steve Ripley has first, Jim Quick at second, and Jerry Crawford at third base. Last night, Jerry Crawford had to warn both teams. We had some beanballs flying around here last night, and the warnings went out to both managers. There were no further incidents thereafter. Ball 4. Lenny leads off another game with a walk. So Mariano Duncan comes up now.
Just as Dykstra has done so many times this year, getting on base in that first inning. Especially on the road, it's important because now you set the table for your ball club to jump off to an early lead if the guys in the middle lineup can put some hits back to back.
Well, the Phillies have scored in the first inning in both previous games in this series. On Monday night, they picked up 2 first-inning runs, and last night they picked up 1. Duncan batting .254. Lenny goes, pitches a ball, and there is no play at second base. Steal number 18 for Dykstra. He is 8th in the National League now in stolen bases.
Lenny gets a good jump at first base and picks a good pitch, a breaking ball by Bottenfield. Laker doesn't even make an attempt to throw to second base. The off-speed pitch down, difficult to make a throw, so Laker just hangs onto the ball, figuring he has no shot at all at Dykstra.
Duncan swings through a pitch. Mariano now will want to, at the very least, move Lenny to third base, so he'll be trying his right field swing here. Ball and a strike. Duncan's had a good month going here on the 16th of June. He has a .345 batting average for this month. Bottenfield pushes him back. Tiki, you were talking about this pitcher's inconsistency, and we saw one of his good games in Philadelphia in relief. He came in and blanked the Phillies over 4 innings.
Well, apparently he's either on or he's off. He doesn't have too many of those middle of the road games, and right now early in this ball game he's showing signs of having one of those off nights.
Mariano hits it on the right side. It stays fair, and the cover from Bottenfield. Dykstra over to third base as Duncan gives himself up to move the runner.
So Mariano does his job, gets the ball on the ground to the right side, moves Dykstra over to the third base, setting the table for John Kruk. Man on third, 1 out.
Kruk was in a similar situation here on Monday, and he fouled out back of third base, and the next night he said those were 2 of the edited swings I ever had in my life. Beep beep. John batting .361, third best in the league. He leads the league in walks with 53. The Expos are going to keep the infield back. Looper center field. On comes Grissom. Can't get it. Base hit. Lenny starts late, but he comes in, and it's 1-0 Phillies on a single by Kruk.
Phillies start off with a good exhibition of big league baseball. Patience by Dykstra. Gets on with the walk. Steals second. Duncan moves him to third. Kruk gets him in. Pitch from Bottenfield on the outside part of the plate, up a little bit. Marquise Grissom thought initially that he had a shot at this ball, just comes up a little bit short. Does a nice job of catching the ball in the short hop off of that outfield turf.
He did deke Lenny, though, who had to wait, but then he had no trouble crossing the plate, so it's 11 in a row in which Dykstra has scored a run. Dalton takes ball 1. Darren at .257, tied for the league lead now in runs batted in. He and Matt Williams. 53 RBIs for Darren. Foul back. His home run total of 15 ranks him 4th in the National League. So in all 3 games of this series, the Phillies have picked up a first-inning run, and right away that puts the pressure on the other team.
Well, and especially against the Montreal Expos, because as much as they like to run, if you can get out ahead of them, especially if you can tack on a couple more runs and get 3 runs, 4 runs up early in the ball game, you can pretty much take their running game away from them.
Bottenfield missing. Dalton is 0 for 2 hitting against Bottenfield this year, 1 for 4 a lifetime.
Well, we have seen all year long that if Bottenfield is going to be wild, the Phillies will allow him to be wild. The hitter's very patient, have been all year long, will take the walks, make the pitcher throw strikes.
Yeah, Phillies lead the league in walks. Dalton hits it hard and through the hole. It's a base hit. Kruk will stop at second as one of the best throwing right fielders in baseball. Larry Walker returns it, and it's the 3rd base runner of the inning for the Phillies.
2 balls and 1 strike. Bottenfield behind in the count, has to come in with a fastball right down the middle. Dutch just drives it through the right side. That's one right there. 2 balls and 1 strike. He just got on top of that ball a little bit. If he gets underneath that a little bit, that one could have been for a long ride. But Phillies will take runners at first and second in this situation and just keep moving on down the line.
Speaking of long rides, here's a guy who can give a baseball a long ride. Pete Incaviglia batting .305, 11 homers, and he's now in the top 10 in runs batted in. Fouled it off. He has 44 RBIs in 44 games. He places 7th in the league. He's been hit by pitches each of the last 2 ball games, once on the left hand, last night on the chest. He's tough, though. Has missed only a couple of innings.
Yeah, he hangs right in there at the plate. He's going to get hit a few times only because he doesn't give any ground at the plate.
Takes a strike, and we see Inky hit behind in the count a lot. 0-2 on him.
Well, a lot of times you think of power hitters as guys that are free swingers and swing at anything. Inky goes to the plate with an idea. He's looking for a pitch, and early in the count, unless he gets a pitch in his zone, he really doesn't swing at it. He will take a pitch like that rather than try to swing at it.
A little more defensive now, 1-2, as Bottenfield tries to get him to chase one. Bottenfield was one of those Expos who was called up to pitch a game in a doubleheader in Los Angeles. Remember when they had those 3 consecutive doubleheaders? They brought him up from Indianapolis, which was their AAA club last year, and he came up and did a nice job for them, earning him a further look this year. Breaking ball, he got him. Bottenfield gets his first strikeout, second out of the inning.
Ahead in the count for the first time this evening. He has the luxury of throwing that breaking ball down and away. Inky with 2 strikes has to try to protect the outside part of the plate. Was not able to come up with that one.
Jim Eisenreich batting at .347, a pair of home runs, one of which was a grand slam hit here night before last. And he takes a strike. Eisenreich with a 6-game hitting streak. He's batted .375 during the streak. These two players, Incaviglia and Eisenreich, have really added depth to the Phillies, and most of them time they're in the starting lineup these days. Wes Chamberlain had to leave last night's ball game with a strained groin muscle. One ball, one strike on Eisenreich. Fouls it back to the screen. Phillies ahead 1-0 on a quick run driven in by John Kruk. And there's Krucker with his 36th run batted in. He's the runner down at second base. Giving up runs in the first was an early season nemesis for these Expos. They seem to have gotten it, coming into this series at least, a little more under control lately. But as we say, the Phillies have put something on the board in the first inning all 3 nights they've been here.
As we mentioned, Felipe Alou does not like to go down early in the ball game because he feels like that holds him back a little bit in what he wants to do offensively. He has to try to sit back, and the farther it goes in the game, he has to sit back and not try to run the bases.
Low and inside. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Speaking of Felipe, last night he used his closer, John Wetland, in a ball game where it was not a closed situation, and he used him for 2 innings. Are they that desperate for wins around here?
Well, I think it just shows that he doesn't have a whole lot of faith in a lot of the guys that he had in that bullpen. He's gone to the bullpen so many times this year. The Expos have been in there because of the problems with their starting pitching. Have been in there much more than Felipe Alou would like to be in there, and he just figured he had a lead. He was going to go to Wetland all the way.
Fly ball hit into Marquise Grissom land. And Grissom gobbles it up for the out. But the Phillies get the early run. 2 hits and 2 men left on base at the end of the half inning. Phillies 1, Montreal coming up.
It's a round world, genuine and true. It keeps on spinning and you always come through. And you're giving it your best. Proud to be your bud. Budweiser. Proud to be your bud. Proud to be your bud. Ooh, yeah. Proud to be your. Proud to be your bud.
Upper Deck asked a few average card collectors whose cards they collect.
I collect Steve Young. I collect endorsements. I collect back doctors, surgeons, rings. I collect fines.
I just collect fishing lures. The musky dingbat.
Dingbat.
I have a 56 powder blue Chevy.
Powder blue.
A Ferrari.
I collect Reggie.
Rolls Royce. Reggie. Really?
Not.
Yeah. The smooth. Original interior, original carpet, drives like a dream.
Here's the Sherwin-Williams starting lineup for Montreal. Delino DeShields leads off and plays second. Mike Lansing bats second, plays short. Marquise Grissom hits third and plays center. Larry Walker, the cleanup batter and right fielder. Frank Bolick bats fifth and plays first. Moises Alou hits sixth and plays left field. Sean Berry bats seventh, the third baseman. Tim Laker, the catcher, bats eighth, and the pitcher Kent Bottenfield bats ninth.
Defensively for the Phillies this evening, John Kruk at first base, Mickey Morandini at second, Mariano Duncan is at shortstop, and Kim Batiste at third. Pete Incaviglia is in left, Lenny Dykstra in center, Jim Eisenreich is in right field, Darren Dalton behind the plate, and on the mound, 26-year-old right-hander Kurt Schilling. Schill's last start, he was a winning pitcher in the Phillies' 5-2 win over the Mets this past Friday. It was his fifth complete game of the season. In that game, he gave up 5 hits, gave up both runs on 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. The good part about that game was after a 4th inning home run, he did not allow a runner past first base.
Here's Delino, and we talked in the opening about how Delino has smacked 2 home runs off him. His lifetime average off Schill is .389, 7 hits and 18 at bats. Okay, if that scares you, let's tell you what's happened here recently. Delino is 0 for 10 in this series. DeShields, 2 homers, 11 runs batted in this year. Little chopper toward third. It's a foul ball. 0-2 on Delino from Seaford, Delaware. Delino quickly getting himself into the veteran category here. It's his 4th year in the big leagues, and some of the younger players already starting to ask his advice on many things.
Montreal Expos, with plenty of rookies on this ball club, have 5 of them in the starting lineup tonight. Lansing, the shortstop, Bullock, the first baseman, Berry, the third baseman, Laker, the catcher, and Bottenfield, the pitcher. So I guess 4 years you are an established veteran on this ball club.
You know, Teak, that is one of the problems for Felipe Alou, the fact that he's trying to blend these guys. Terrific stop and a base hit. Delino is limping as he goes down the right field line. Delino limping. He's got himself his first hit of the series, but he's paying for it. And the Montreal trainer is going to take a look at him. Great stop by Batiste.
Ball hit sharply down to third base, and Batiste made a nice play getting it on a bad hop out of that dirt box at third base. Here we see DeShields just slapping that outside fastball by Schilling down there. It takes a high hop. Kim actually has to come back behind himself with the glove, plants and makes a throw, but you know, from being in that deep of a position, hard to get a whole lot on the throw. Gets plenty on it, but it is high and wide. John Kruk wisely just gets off the bag, but then we see DeShields as he hits the bag. I don't know if he turned his ankle or if he kind of stretched to get to the bag.
Here's Mike Lansing, and he was an early season sensation. He's batting .286 now, but early in the year he was up in the league leaders in all different categories. A guy who made the team out of spring training, wasn't really expected to make the team, and when he did, he was just as a reserve infielder, but with the numbers he was posting, they found a place for him to play every day. Now Delino does like to run, and of course this is his first chance to do so. Bouncing ball hit over the head of Batiste. DeShields on his way to third. Inky makes the throw to second, and the Expos have first and third, nobody out.
See right here, good pitch by Schilling down in the strike zone. Lansing just beats it into the ground. Kim had a retreat on the first ball. Now he's up, and the ball just bounces over his head. So Kim having a tough go of it so far this evening. Gets a bad hopper the first time and then a chopper over his head with the second hitter.
Here's Grissom, and you gave the numbers on Grissom. 2 for 4 off Schilling this year. 13 for 20 lifetime, including 1 home run. That's .650. Marquise is having a great year against everybody. Schill shouldn't feel like he's picked on. Grissom is batting .328. The 10th highest figure in the league. His RBI total of 44 places him 7th. He's had more hits than any of the other Expos against the Phillies. He's had 8 of them and batting .348 off Phil's pitching this year.
Phillies with the infield backward. Gladly trade a double play ball for
they may have one, Teak. Nope, just get the force over there at second base and a run scores. We've got a tie ball game, and Grissom with his great speed could not be doubled. The ball was hit too softly.
Well, again, another one of those choppers. Schill with the ball down in the strike zone has got 2 choppers in a row. This ball hit to Duncan at shortstop, but just not hit sharply enough to be able to turn the double play. As wisely, Morandini just holds the ball at second base, had no play at Grissom. So the Montreal Expos tie the score at 1-1 and have a man on first with 1 out.
Larry Walker steps in, hitting at .281. Walker was recently on the disabled list with some sore ribs. This is his 7th game since he's come back. He hasn't hit much, just 5 for 21. Walker, a .300 hitter against the Phillies. Here's a guy that wanted to play Major League Hockey but never was quite good enough at that sport. And a Canadian who makes it to play Major League Baseball. Safe at first is Marquise. He has 14 steals in 19 tries. The last time the Expos won a series from the Phillies here was back in August of 1990. In the meantime, the Phillies have won 5 series. He got him. Picked him off. Marquise Grissom is picked off by Schilling. And Marquise is having a little something to say to Steve Ripley.
Well, I don't know if he's upset with the call or not, but watch Marquise right here. Schill's first move, he takes a step. He's already gone. Schill steps off. No problem there. Tags down in plenty of time.
Looked like he got him all right.
It appeared as if Grissom had made up his mind that Schilling was going to throw on a certain count and took off.
Oh, I wonder. I wonder.
Maybe
that
he
angle.
did have a complaint from that angle.
See what Marquise was talking about.
Yeah, well, I guess he did have a right to have a little word down there. Nonetheless, he is out and back on the bench. It's his own fault for taking such a wandering lead.
Shouldn't have made it look that close.
That's right. If it looks that bad, you should be out.
Meantime, the count of 1 ball and 2 strikes on Walker. Bases empty and 2 outs. A little dribbler. It's a foul ball. So we have a 1-1 ball game here in the bottom half of the first. What do you think?
Well, Marquise does a nice job. As he goes back, you see him go to the outside part of the bag.
He's safe.
It appears to be safe. The reason the runner goes to the outside part of the bag is to make the first baseman go farther to make the tag, buying yourself a little extra time.
Walker strikes out. Schilling gets his first strikeout, and the inning is complete. But Montreal gets a run, 2 hits, nobody left on base, a 1-1 game. Leads it off, hitting at .317. He's been thrust into a starting role here. Tekin really doing a terrific job.
Well, he's doing a nice job at third base, filling in for Dave Hollins. And you know what we forgot about for a while is the fact that the reason he wasn't playing shortstop was the pulled hamstring. It's not completely healed yet. Jim Fregosi talking about it last night after the ball game. There was a ball early in the game that Batiste did not get to. So that, he just had troubles with that leg getting a good start. So
where were you talking to Jim last night?
We were down in the clubhouse.
Oh, I
after
see.
The game. Where were you? Weren't there, right?
I was not there. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. 3 homers, 14 RBIs for Batiste. Foul back out of play, and it's 2-2 on Kim. Bottom third of the order here. Morandini next, and then Kurt Schilling. In Batiste's 5 games as a starter, he's 7 for 22, so that's a .318 batting average since he filled in the starting lineup starting during the Mets series. Bottenfield gets it past him. Bottenfield's 2nd strikeout. Cento Italian Food Products rooting for the Phillies this season, and for every Phillies home run, Cento donates $200 to the Philadelphia Child Guidance Clinic. Cento has a full quality line of Italian tomatoes, all-purpose crushed tomatoes, tomato puree, Italian peeled tomatoes. Mickey Morandini at .239. He's among the league leaders in triples. He has 5 triples to rank 2nd in the league. Mickey had 1 triple in this series here on Monday night. Out into left center field, but Grissom is coasting, and so is the left fielder Alou, and it's Alou's play. Morandini flies to Moises in left. Antique, they say, get him early, and Bottenfield seems to be settling in now.
Well, he was behind the count on almost every hitter in the first inning. Now here in the second inning has jumped out in front of both Batiste and Morandini. As we mentioned earlier, he is much more successful when he works ahead in the count, because then he can work those balls just off the edge and the hitters have more of a tendency to go after him. When he's behind in the count, he doesn't have the one dominant pitch that he can really just challenge people with.
Curt Schilling lines out to Bolick, and that takes care of the inning. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. Spectacular fireworks shows, gigantic aerial displays put to music following the doubleheader on the 2nd and the single game on July 3rd. Both nights compliments of Mellon PSFS. Don't wait to order your tickets. Do it now. Stop by the Center City ticket office, Mellon PSFS, Broad and Chestnut Streets, or call 463-1000. Andy Musser with Kent DeCalvi from Olympic Stadium in Montreal. Rubber game of the series, and it's a 1-1 tie. These teams are tied for the year. Each team has won 3 ball games, and last year they split 18 ball games. So looks like the Expos and the Phillies are pretty well matched. Frank Bolick just caught that line drive by Schilling. A .242 hitter, 3 homers, 17 runs batted. Then he was out last week with a foot injury and has come back to play basically at first base. He's also a third baseman. Bolick, the lone switch hitter in the Expos lineup tonight, with the exception of their pitcher, Bottenfield. He's a switch hitter. Schilling is riding a 6-game winning streak. That's over his last 10 starts. He has won 6 straight decisions. Had a few no decisions in there. His last loss was April 17th at Chicago. In the air, foul back out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Bolick. Bolick came over here from Milwaukee. Went to Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania High School. He's from Ashland, Pennsylvania. Hits it hard to right center field. He's got him gapper. Extra bases for Bolick. Eisenreich goes to run it down. It's a stand-up double for Bolick. And the Expos have hits to lead off both their innings.
As you mentioned, for the 2nd inning in a row, the Expos get their leadoff man on. This time Bolick gets a curveball that's up and in the middle of the plate. Drills it out into right center field, perfectly splitting Eisenreich and Dykstra. Neither one of them having a chance. Jimmy hustles over, plays the ball off the wall, and gets it back in quickly. Bolick conceded between first and second. He didn't even have any thoughts of trying to go to third base on that with nobody out.
The hitter is Moises Alou, batting at .291. He takes a strike. Moises, over the last 2 ball games, has driven in 4 runs. He has a home run in this series, and he's 3 for his last 4. So it looks like he's starting to pick up the pace. He had been slumping prior to the Phillies' arrival in town.
Well, he's a hitter that's known to hit in streaks.
Strike 2.
He can get very, very hot, or he can get very, very cold. And when he gets one of those hot streaks, very difficult to get out. He covers the complete plate. He can hit the ball up and down. But when he's in one of those bad streaks, it seems like he can throw it just about anywhere, and he will not make contact with it.
Just off the outside part, 1-2. Alou is 0 for 4 off Schilling this year, and 3 for 11 during his career. Schilling seeking victory number 9 tonight. Bouncer on the right side moves the runner. Alou is out, but Bolick's at third, where he could possibly come in and give the Expos a lead. So Alou does his job. This is where if a pitcher is a strikeout pitcher, and certainly Schilling is, he's 6th in the league in strikeouts, would love to get one here. Phillies keep the infield back. Sean Berry, the batter. Been a tough out for the Phillies. Berry has 4 hits and 8 at-bats against the Phillies. Not so successful against the league. He's .230. Strike.
You mentioned the strikeout in this situation. Berry's had 61 at-bats this year, has struck out 12 times, so 1 out of every 5 at-bats he does strike out, so he is a candidate. some guys are such good contact hitters, you just ignore trying to strike them out, but Berry's not one of those guys.
Here's a ball hit in the air to center. That'll get the run home. Dykstra makes the catch. Tagging at third is Bolick, and the Expos lead it 2-1. Now you tip your cap to Sean Berry. He did what he wanted to do.
Man on third base, less than 2 outs. Your job at the plate is to get the ball in the air and get it to the outfield. Sean Berry does a nice job of hitting the ball straight away, taking it plenty deep in center field. The Dykstra had absolutely no play at the plate.
So we've got both these teams playing good fundamental baseball tonight. Moving runners, scoring runners. And here's Tim Laker with the bases empty and 2 outs. He swung at that, strike one. Laker hitting only 193. The Expos have 3 catchers. Darren Fletcher is their left-handed batting catcher. And also able to go behind the plate is Tim McIntosh. 1-1. One ball and 2 strikes on Laker. Every time I say the name Laker, it makes me think of Steve Laker. He was with the Phillies for a couple of years, and of course we always called him Laker as a nickname. He's out of there. That's Schilling's second strikeout. But the Expos take the lead. 1 run, 1 hit, nobody left on base. It's 2-1 Montreal.
This is your world, genuine and true, working together in all that you do, and you're giving it your best. Proud to be your bud, Budweiser. Proud to be your bud. Proud to be your bud. Ooh, yeah. Proud to be your. Proud to be your bud.
What's new at Mobile? Let's take a look.
Introducing new Mobile Super Plus detergent gasoline. It still cleans fuel injectors and intake valves.
Now it helps keep the very heart of your engine cleaner. Down here, the cylinders and pistons.
So come down to the Big Red O and drive your engine clean with new Mobile Super Plus, the detergent gasoline.
It's often taken for granted, yet it's as precious as the very air we breathe. It's called freedom. And it's what inspired Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield to create the new Personal Choice, a health plan that offers people the low costs of an HMO without asking them to give up what they value most, their freedom. Personal Choice, the health plan that controls costs, not people.
It's the 10th reunion of the National League champs. The 83 Phillies play an 83 All-Star team Saturday, June 19th, 6 p.m. in the Heroes of Baseball game, compliments of Upper Deck. Before the Phillies play the Marlins at 7:35. Call 463-1000.
Sunday, July 4th, the Phillies play the Padres at 8:05 at the Vet, and it's Helmet Sunday. It's a special Sunday night game time and a special free gift for all fans 14 and under. An official-looking Phillies batting helmet, red with the Phillies P on the front. So make plans to come out. Order your tickets at Vet Stadium Ticket Office or by calling 463-1000.
We go to the third inning, 2-1 Montreal, and the Phillies at the top of their order. That produced their lone run tonight. Lenny Dykstra coaxed a leadoff walk, stole second, went to third on a ground out, and scored on a hit by Kruk. Out into right field, Walker. Walker makes the play, 1 down.
Larry Walker had a little problem with that ball. Line drive by Dykstra appears to be in the lights. You see him trying to get down below the lights, trying to take the lights out of play. Last night he had problems in right field with a bunch of birds that were trying to nest out there. Now tonight the first ball that comes out there is in the lights.
And what we can't figure out is how the birds got in here. The lid's on, you know. Somebody must have left the door open.
Or what were they looking for?
Really?
There are no worms in the AstroTurf.
Duncan grounded out to give himself up and move a runner first time around. Happy birthday to longtime Phillies fan Helen Miller. Broomall, Pennsylvania, celebrating today. And happy 67th birthday to Harry Moore of Northeast Philadelphia. There are a few
gaps in the top.
Yeah, but you got to really want to get in here. Pop foul, back out of play.
Needless to say, I don't think the Birds came in with tickets, so it's like the old days. Connie Mack used to jump over the fence to come into the ballpark. The Birds have found a way to get into the Olympic Stadium.
Not the same as the knothole gang, huh?
No.
A little low. 3 balls and a strike. Mr. and Mrs. James Blood of Birdsboro, Pennsylvania, celebrating their 31st wedding anniversary this day. It stays fair. No, didn't it? And they're calling the out, and Duncan never got out of the box. Duncan's claiming it was foul, and Jim Fragosi's coming out.
Duncan claiming the ball hit off his foot, I believe.
And Fragosi wants to discuss this one. Duncan never ran. There'd be no reason why he would not run if the ball wasn't hit off his foot.
And what Jim Fragosi is doing right now, he's talking to home plate umpire Rich Reeker, saying, you know, if you didn't see him hit him on the foot, check with Steve Ripley at first base. Now Ripley has the baseball. Foul ball. Shoe polish on the baseball. So Fragos wins the discussion. You can't really call it an argument. It was more of a discussion. See right here, Mariano beats the ball right down off his toe, and he should know if it hit him or not.
Yeah,
when you get wrapped on the toe, you're the first one to know.
So now you
he did not leave the plate.
You got to give that one to the clubhouse guy for putting a little shoe polish on the toe. Pop up, foul, back out of play. Joey Dunn handling those duties. Frank Kopenbarger had this trip off, and Joey's got that shoe polish all over down there, and it's a good thing he does.
Like I said, there really wasn't an argument between Fragosi and Reeker. It was just a discussion.
Hey.
If you didn't see it, check with somebody else. Make sure the play is right.
Any of us who have seen Fragosi argue know that that wasn't an argument.
That was
when you get in an argument with Fragosi, then you'll know it.
The arms weren't flailing, the head wasn't bobbing.
He looks calm now, but it's because he just won.
Just give him a little time.
3-2 pitch. Cardinals beat the Pirates today 3-2. Those Buccos are really struggling. Cheek.
They've got some problems right now. Andy Van Slyke out of the lineup. They're going to be out 4 to 6 weeks with a broken collarbone. On top of all the pitching problems that they've had, they're struggling.
Duncan high fly down the left field line. Alou is over. Foul ball. Meantime, bad news for Pittsburgh, but terrific news for John Olerud, the sensational hitting Toronto first baseman. He got a base hit today, and their 4-0 victory this afternoon, and he now has hit in 21 straight games, longest streak in the American League in quite a while. Olerud's a good-looking hitter. Tommy Green lost his first game of the year last night. Tommy's had 2 back-to-back tough starts now. And you wonder whether all the innings that these guys have pitched is starting to take a little bit of a toll. There's a base on balls, and Duncan doesn't walk often, as you know, but he's walked twice in this series.
Mariano just kept fouling off pitches and fouling off pitches. Bottenfield finally tried to go to the 3-2 breaking ball, left it upstairs. Is a little bit surprising. It was relatively close to the strike zone, which is usually in Duncan's range, but he did lay off of it and took the walk.
When Duncan walked here on Monday night, it was his first walk since May 20th. Kruk 1-for-1 RBI single. Dunk slides back safely. Been a sensational trip for the Phillies. They've taken 5 of the 6 games they've played, so they're assured of a winning record on the trip. Should they win tonight, they'd be 6-1 on the trip. The last time the Phillies went 6-1 on a road trip was back in 1967. Bottenfield is convinced Mariano's gone somewhere. Mariano with 4 stolen bases in 6 tries.
Talk about 6-1 on a road trip. Since 1967, there's some pretty decent Philly ball clubs that played in the 70s that were not able to do that.
Close again. Keeps working on Duncan.
Dunk takes a little walk, clean up the uniform. He always must look good.
Bottenfield has yet to make a pitch to the batter, John Kruk. Bottenfield is making only his 7th start tonight, but this is his 18th appearance. The others out of the bullpen. 2 of his relief appearances were against the Phillies at Veterans Stadium, May 20th and 23rd. Kruk's taking some close pitches. 2 balls and no strikes. John has a very good eye. That's not the main reason, though, that he leads the league in walks. The main reason is that pitchers are being so very, very careful with him. He's walked 53 times. And that helps John to have the best on-base percentage in the National League. He chases that one. John's on-base mark is .487, better even than Barry Bonds. Duncan goes and stops. Ground ball picked up by Delino to second one. Jump throw to first offline. But it bounces right back to Bolick, so Kruk will have to remain at first. 2 outs. Nice play by DeShields.
Shields does a nice job of getting the ball to Lansing at second base. Ball toward the hole. As you mentioned, Duncan had started and then stopped. Gets a good throw to Lansing, but Duncan coming in hard, but really Lansing did not have to. He was already out of the way. He was cleared to the right side. He jumps and throws himself off balance and then throws the ball into the ground. Fortunately for the Expos this year, they have added those fences in front of the dugout. Those weren't there before. That ball normally in years past would have gone into the dugout. This time stays in play.
Here's Darren Dalton, and the pitch bounces to the plate. Darren is 1 for 1, a single to right field. Will Cordero is the normal Expos shortstop. He's being rested here this evening. He's got a little cold with the bat. They've got some notes on their sheet about how he comes back so strong every time he's rested. Hits for a number of games, so Cordero gets the night off, and they'll hope that with their day off tomorrow, he'll be able to come back here over the weekend and have a big series. Dalton rides it for the gap in right center. He got the gap. Let's see what Kruk can do out of this. He's being waved by Boa. Delino DeShields makes the relay. Kruk is out. Dalton gets a double, but John Kruk is out to end the inning. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel.
To talk. You see, you and I have something in common.
Batman returns.
Batman. To destroy Batman, we must first turn him into what he hates the most. Namely, us.
Batman returns.
Could go batty following the herd this summer. But really cool families visit the top seasonal water park in the country. Dorney Park and Wild Water Kingdom It's where families go to have fun. Go play outside. You could try to keep the kids happy at home this summer. But really cool families visit the park for all ages. Dorney Park and Wildwater Kingdom. It's where families go to have fun. Go play outside.
Discount coupons available at participating Pizza Hut restaurants. Budweiser and the Phillies are celebrating the 4th of July holiday weekend with the Bud Summer Baseball Bash. It's a special tent party outside Veterans Stadium on Monday, July 5th before the Phillies-Dodgers game. Right now, be the 17th caller to 1-800-432-1745 and win 4 tickets to the party and the game. You'll join us for food, music, and surprises, and then watch the Phillies play the Dodgers. It's the Bud Summer Baseball Bash with Budweiser and the Phils. So bring on the Dodgers and bring on the Bud.
Phillies baseball on Sports Channel is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, who reminds you friends know when to say when. By Nationwide Insurance. Nationwide is on your side. Your Nationwide agent in Feasterville is Dennis O'Neill. And by your local Dodge dealers. Come in today because we know how to help. Well, that was terrific execution by the Expos, and a guy with one of the tremendous arms in baseball in right field, Larry Walker, gets another assist.
We talked about the offensive execution earlier. Here is perfect defensive execution. Walker gets the ball into DeShields. DeShields with a good quick release. Nice one-hop throw to Laker at the plate. John Kruk out by about 2 steps. Takes 2 good throws right on the money to make this play work. Larry Bowen knows that. He sends Kruk all the way. But the Expos execute perfectly and snuff out a run for the Phillies.
Double for Dalton, who is 2 for 2. The Expos remain on top 2-1, and here is Bottenfield, the pitcher, and I guess he's given up switch hitting, or he is a selective switch hitter. Let's put it like that. He's up there batting right-handed off Schilling, but they do list him in the stats as a switch hitter. He has 10 at-bats right-handed and 5 at-bats left-handed. His lone hit came as a left-handed batter, so why is he up there right-handed?
Maybe he thinks it's too easy.
He's hitting .067, 1 for 15. The 1-2 pitch. 2-2.
Or quite possibly, he figures, being an .067 hitter, that he has no chance of hitting Schilling anyway. So therefore, bat from the right side so that if Schilling hits me, my pitching arm's protected.
Yeah, that could be. Here's a ground ball hit to second. Morandini makes the play. That was relatively sharply hit, but he's out. 1 down in the 3rd. And here's Delino. He's had quite an influence on this game tonight. He has singled, scored a run for Montreal, and thrown out a runner at the plate. So he's had quite an impact thus far. That was his first hit of the series. He is 1 for 11.
Having a lot of impact so far in tonight's ball game, and had almost no impact on the first 2 ball games of the series.
Delino was out with the chicken pox earlier in the year. He's back to full speed now. He was going to be a basketball player. In fact, Villanova had recruited him, and then he changed his mind, decided to play baseball, and looks like he made the right choice because it didn't take him long to get to the big leagues. He was a shortstop, converted to second. Two balls and 2 strikes on DeShields. Very close. Good eye. He has a good eye. 39 walks for Delino, and nobody tries to pitch around him, so he's getting them on his own merits. 3-2 pitch. Fouls it back.
We saw the first time around with DeShields that he hit the fastball from Schilling that was away and just slapped it down to Batiste at third base. That ball that took the bad hop on Kim out of the dirt. This time Schilling's been trying to work him on the inside part of the plate. Guys that can run like DeShields, you want to try to make them pull the ball if at all possible. And of course they're going to do everything they can, like that inside out swing that DeShields just put on that fastball, to try to hit the ball the other way. The reason being, a ball to the third baseman or a ball to the shortstop, much longer throw, takes longer to execute, gives DeShields more time with his good speed to try to beat it out. Second base is tough.
He walked him. Schilling's first walk of the ball game, Delino's 40th of the year. He is the 7th top receiver of walks in the league. We mentioned earlier that he likes to run. He's stolen 17 bases, been caught 7 times. Keep in mind, too, that Schilling has a pickoff tonight. He picked off Marquise Grissom. Here's Lansing, 1-for-1, a single. A bouncer over the head of Batiste, the third baseman. And Lansing is 4-for-9 in the series. Montreal leads it 2-1 in the third. The Expos have not been able to keep pace with the Phillies lately. They've lost 5 of 7 and 7 of 10. Back when they were playing the Phillies at Veterans Stadium, they just trailed the Phillies by 4.5 in the standings. Right now they are 11.5 back of the Phillies. One ball, one strike. Cardinals winning today have moved within 10 games of the Phillies.
Kurt Schilling must be doing something that's throwing these Montreal Expo base runners off. We saw Marquise Grissom with the false start. The first pitch here, DeShields had a little bit of flinch in his, so they're not reading Schilling real well right now. They're looking for something or that they're not getting, or they're getting something that they're not looking for. It's throwing their timing off.
Catches the corner 1-2, and so consequently we really haven't seen any of them attempt to steal.
No, we haven't had any movement at all yet. Schilling does a nice job of getting the ball to the plate quickly. He does not have the normal long delivery to home plate for a guy that throws as hard as he does, and the combination of his quick delivery to home plate, and of course we've seen Dutch has been outstanding all year long with good, strong, accurate throws. So Phillies with a good combination here if the Expos decide to try to run.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
Add into that the fact that they're having trouble reading Schilling at this point in time. You would think even with DeShields' great speed, if he does take a chance on running, Philly should have at least a halfway decent shot, which is better than most people have about throwing DeShields out.
There he goes. Ball hit in the air to right field. Eisenreich is back. He makes the catch. DeShields saw that and was able to get back to first easily. So Lansing is out for the second out of the inning. Here comes Marquise Grissom. He has an RBI tonight, got it on a fielder's choice, and then he got himself picked off. Montreal 2, Phillies 1 in the third.
Now with 2 outs, look for the Expos to push the running game a little harder. You want to take a chance with 2 outs to try to get that runner down to second base where he's in position to score.
Schilling thinking right along with you, Teague. Going to check him back.
You always want to be alert when you're on the mound. With 2 outs, much more likely to run, because it's going to take 2 singles from this point to score DeShields. Schilling, of course, known for not giving up a whole lot of base hits, so therefore you would try to force it and get in a position where just 1 base hit can get you a run. DeShields still not getting a good read down at first base, though. He's having a real problem trying to read Schilling and get a good jump. When he first came up, he didn't get many good jumps. He just outran the baseball, but he has become better the last couple of years as far as watching pitchers, studying pitchers, learning what their moves are, and trying to find something in their delivery to get a good jump.
Able to get back standing this time.
And you watch DeShields down there at first base. He's got right now what you call happy feet. He can't get them planted and keep them on the ground. He's not quite sure what Schilling's doing out there, and he's not real comfortable with himself. See, the feet just keep moving. He just can't quite get that balance that he wants.
Out of play.
And when those feet are moving, you can't get a good jump. Those feet have to be planted and ready to go. If the weight shifted just a little bit, or one of those feet, in the worst case, is up off the ground, then you can't run.
Marquise has a current 14-game hitting streak, by the way. He has not continued it as yet. He's 0-for-1. That's a career high for Grissom. Check swing foul ball. That one was really riding in on Marquise. Grissom is closing in on the career 500 hit mark. He has 498. Oh, you are absolutely right about Delino. He has not really taken off yet, obviously because he's not comfortable. Doesn't think he's got a good jump.
The one time he was running was when Lansing flew out to right field. You don't know, possibly that was a hit and run play, where he's forced to run, but he does not look comfortable.
There he goes. And it's a strikeout. Doesn't matter at all. Strikeout number 3. So for the Expos in the third, no runs, no hits, and they leave one after 3, 2-1 Montreal.
This is your world, genuine and true, working together in all that you do, and you're giving it your best. Proud to be your bud, Budweiser. Proud to be your bud. Proud to be your bud. Ooh, yeah. Proud to be your. Proud to be your bud.
We know how to help you save on Dodge Caravan during the National Minivan Sale. Take this one. You can get over $1,800 in total savings, including air and no extra charge with the Family Value Package. Or check out this loaded Grand Caravan LE with $2,600 in total savings, including sale prices on some of our most popular luxury options. Only at the Minivan Store. See your nearest Dodge dealer. We know how to help.
For the first time ever, the expansion Florida Marlins come to the Vet Thursday, June 17th and Friday, June 18th. Then the Upper Deck Heroes play Saturday, June 19th before the Marlins game. And it's a free vintage 1933 baseball cap for all men, Sunday, June 20th at 1:35. Order your tickets in advance. Call 463-1000.
The Heroes of Baseball game is coming up Saturday. It's going to be the 10th reunion of the '83 NL Championship Phillies. They'll be back to play a team of Major League All-Stars from the same era. Teak will be on that team. For the '83 Phillies, Mike Schmidt will be there. Tug McGraw, Gary Matthews, Gary Maddox, Tony Perez, many, many more. Here's the number for your tickets, 463-1000. That ball game starts at 6. The Phillies play the Marlins at 7:35 on Saturday. Incaviglia leads it off for the Phillies. Inky struck out first time around. We're in the fourth with Montreal leading 2-1. Then Bottenfield gets a slow breaker over the plate. 1-1. Inky's never had a hit off Bottenfield. He is 0 for 4. Out into right field and carrying well, but looks like Walker's got room. Just in front of the warning track, he makes the catch. 1 out. Jim Eisenreich will bat. We mentioned that Bottenfield is filling in for Kenny Hill tonight. Some wag in the paper today had a pretty good line, talked about the Montreal rotation being Martinez and Hill and 3 days to kill. Is that anywhere like Spawn and Sane and Pray for Rain?
Pretty close to the equivalent, except I don't think the Milwaukee Braves had quite the problems that the Expos have. They have auditioned just about everybody for those other 3 spots and have come up with no successful entries.
Lansing gets back the shortstop to make the catch, and Eisenreich is nothing for 2. Bottenfield has really settled down. Go back to the beginning of the game. He walked the leadoff hitter, and then 1 out later gave up back-to-back hits. He's given up only 1 hit since.
Well, we mentioned that Bottenfield was either on or off. Early indications were that he started off, which is exactly what happened. And the Phillies got the run in the first inning, but since then he has settled in and got into his ball game pretty well.
Batiste with the bases empty and 2 outs. Kim was a strikeout victim first time he was up there. Fouled out of play. We talked about Bottenfield having yielded 10 home runs, and he did it in 57 innings coming in. Kurt Schilling has also given up 10 home runs, but almost twice as many innings, 101 innings. But nevertheless, Schilling's figure of 10 still is the high figure on the Phillies staff. Laker wanted to see whether he swung at that, and Ripley says he did not. The 1-2 pitch. 2-2 on Batiste. Curt Schilling was quoted publicly as saying that he had lost his confidence a couple of starts ago, and Jim Fregosi was asked about it. He says, I have enough confidence for both of us. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. Phillies go in order. We move to the bottom of the fourth. 2-1 Expos.
Major League Baseball home video presents... We're back! Now it can be heard, the sounds of baseball. This is the baseball video that puts you on the field to hear the game as never before.
They said we got to take the lead right here. Take the lead. First inning.
You're going to put him in jail?
I'm not going to put him in jail.
Straighten the bat back. You never go. He's not taking him.
Host Tommy Lasorda takes you behind the closed doors to reveal the secret strategy in team meetings and some Major League Clubhouse practical jokes. Plus, candid moments with today's superstars. Now it can be heard.
Yeah.
Do you want to order?
Yeah.
Well, to order, send check or money order to this address. Or use your credit card and call 1-800-255-9200. That's 1-800-255-9200.
Yo, Phillies fans, here's the pitch. You, the Phillies, San Diego. It's the Jiffy Lube Coca-Cola Phillies road trip. Go to Jiffy Lube and you could win an all-expense-paid trip for 4 to the Phillies-Padres game in sunny San Diego. Round-trip airfare, deluxe hotel accommodations, and meals are all included. But hey, you can't win if you don't enter at any participating Jiffy Lube before June 30th.
It's the 10th reunion of the National League champs. The 83 Phillies play an 83 All-Star team Saturday, June 19th, 6 p.m. in the Heroes of Baseball game compliments of Upper Deck. Before the Phillies play the Marlins at 7:35. Call 463-1000.
It's time to stop wondering about what it's like to be a big league star and find out about next year's Phillies Dream Week, where you live, learn, laugh, and play alongside stars like Dave Cash, Larry Boa, Greg Luzinski, Del Ennis, and many more. I'll be there also and help you have the time of your life. For full details, call 215-938-1200. That's 215-938-1200 for Phillies Dream Week. I suggest you call now because spots are becoming very limited.
Larry Walker lines one the opposite way. Incaviglia over to make the play. Nice play by Incaviglia, who impresses you more and more every day as an outfielder. Walker lines out, one down.
Good jump by Inky right here. Goes right to the spot where the ball's going to come down. The ball off the left-handed Walker's bat slices away from the left fielder, but Inky had that one lined up all the way.
You know, Inky says that Davey Lopes was the guy that taught him how to play the outfield and cut the alleys down and learn how to take a route toward a ball. Here's Bolick. He has doubled and scored for Montreal. He scored the go-ahead run.
And you know, you think that would be odd. Davey Lopes, the second baseman for the Dodgers for all those years, but Davey Lopes, when he started his career, was an outfielder. Converted to the infielder as was Bill Russell in the Dodgers. So Davey did have a background in the outfield and was a good outfielder. Dodgers just needed a second baseman.
And I think he's talking about Davey as a coach when they were both with the Texas Rangers. 1-1. I think he says that when he first came up, all he thought about was hit. I imagine he still thinks a little about it.
That's not an odd commodity.
Out of play.
But as you play over the years, you learn that yes, hitting is important, and that's, you know, for a guy like Incaviglia, yes, he's going to make his money because of his offense, not his defense. But if you want to play on a winning ball club, if you want to be a part of that winning ball club, you have to contribute in both ends of the game, and that as you learn, as you become a little older and a little more mature, that defense is important.
A topper, but Schilling makes the play over to Kruk, and that's 2 down. Bolick is retired for the second out of the inning and will bring to the plate Moises Alou. Schilling bids to put him down in turn for the first time tonight. And he did get Alou in the initial face-to-face meeting, got him to ground out to second base. Want to send get well wishes along to Walter Tannock of Levittown, Pennsylvania. Ball and a strike on Alou. Having a terrific series. Alou has led his team in RBIs in this series, knocking in 4. Schilling with a good pitch.
It's only Alou a couple pitches out away from him. Got Alou leaning and looking out over the plate, and then busted that fastball on the inside part of the plate.
Bouncing ball. Duncan takes care of it. And it is a 1-2-3 inning. We finished 4 tonight. Montreal 2, Phillies 1.
May I help you, sir?
Yeah, I'll have a Coca-Cola.
You sure you want a Coke?
Yeah, I want a Coke.
Okay, pal.
How did you order a Coke? It tastes good.
I didn't care if it was a Coke. You just
I'll just have a cola. I'll just have a cola. I'll just have a cola.
Need a drink, sir?
I'll just have a...
You'll just have a...
I'll just have a Coke. Ooh. Hear that, guys? A Coca-Cola. See ya, pal. Oh.
Okay, panel. How can you recognize the genuine Yellow Pages?
It has a yellow cover.
Good.
This is a Bell of Pennsylvania on the front?
Right.
It has more choices inside.
Yes! That's how you tell a genuine article from mere imitators. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
The genuine Bell of Pennsylvania Yellow Pages. 9 out of 10 use it. No other book can match it. A Bell Atlantic Company.
Jeff Manto, the newest member of the Phillies team, yet to get in a ball game yet, but he's a versatile player who can play third, first, and catch, and I'm sure he'll be a useful spare part. Phillies trail it here 2-1 as we go to the 5th. Morandini leading it off. Love to see that number 8 hitter get on and allow your pitcher to come up there and bunt him along. And there it is. Morandini rolls a single through on the right side, and we've got the proper scenario working here. Hit number 4 for the Phillies.
You mentioned earlier in the ball game about the number of relief pitchers that Felipe Alou had to use last night. With Bottenfield on the mound this evening, you would like to try to get him out of the ball game as soon as possible because that bullpen is exposed right now. Wetland going 2 innings. Facero's pitched quite a few innings the last couple of days, so like to keep on doing that good execution, keep moving the runners around, try to get Bottenfield out of the ball game. Now he has, started to settle down and lock into a pretty good spot, but if you can get him out of there, you got a real good opportunity of doing some damage against that Expo bullpen.
Schilling has 4 sacrifices this year. He's pretty good. Once it foul. Yesterday the Expos brought up a young right-hander, Bill Risley, and he arrived in time for the ball game last night, and he warmed up in that game 3 separate times, never did make it in. So we'll see whether Risley is one that Felipe might want to call on tonight. Also Chris Nabholz, whose turn is being bypassed. right now because they've got an off day tomorrow, is also in the Montreal bullpen. Tom and Alice Bassetti, Chestnut Hill, celebrating their 45th wedding anniversary tonight. Congratulations, folks. Schilling gets it down. Scooped up by Laker. Looks at second. Makes the play to first. So Curt Schilling gets his job done. Gets Morandini down to second base. 1 out.
Well, we've seen both clubs execute well early in the ball game. Both turned into runs. Here Schilling gets the ball down. Laker, knowing that it's close to first or close to home plate, takes a quick look at second base, realizes he does not have a play. Goes on and throws the ball to the Shields at first base. The catcher's at a little disadvantage here. Normally on a bunt play, whether it be the third baseman, the pitcher, or the first baseman that fields it, the catcher is looking at the play and he tells them what to do. On a play when the catcher fields the ball, there's nobody there to give him an idea if he has a play at second base or not, so he has to go back and kind of make his own judgment, take his own look. Laker with a little bit of his equipment fell off in the middle of the infield as he made that play. Looks like one of the straps off of the shin guard.
Yeah. Teak, let me ask you now about the mindset of a Lenny Dykstra. He's a leadoff man, and of course we saw him work his specialty early tonight when he walked, stole a base, and scored. Now he comes up there not as a leadoff guy, but as an RBI guy. Runner at second, 1 out. What's the difference in his approach?
Well, the difference is that, you know, early in the game he's looking to take pitches, see what Bottenfield has, show his teammates what he has. Now he's looking for a specific pitch that he can do what he wants to with it, whether he's looking to pull the ball, whether he's looking to hit it the other way. A little more selective in what he's looking for, not taking all the way, but if he gets that good pitch, he's going to jump it.
Takes a strike. Lenny is officially 0 for 1 in the game. He lined out to right field last time. A ball that Walker caught, although he had trouble with the lights.
What Lenny's trying to do right here is trying to get a base hit. He doesn't care where in the count it is. Earlier, he would try to get the base hit later on in the count.
Takes it high. The Phillies have out-hit the Expos 4-3, but the Expos have a 1-run lead. Morandini at second, 1 out.
Mickey checking the outfielders of the Expos. The weakest arm is a Lou in left. Marquise Grissom has a good arm in center, and Larry Walker has a cannon in right.
That's a good pitch for Bottenfield. So Lenny now will have to hit defensively. It's 1-2.
Well, Lenny likes the fastball, and everybody knows it. Bottenfield able to get the breaking ball over. As I said, Lenny's looking for a pitch to drive the runner in with, so he's not looking to hit a breaking ball. Now with 2 strikes, he has to go back into protect mode.
Hits it on the ground. Gobbled up by Bolick. He makes the play. Morandini goes to third, but that is the second out.
Good sequence of pitches by Bottenfield right there. Was able to get the breaking ball over early in the count, knowing that Dykstra would like to hit the fastball. Then comes back with the fastball after he's ahead in the count and throws it inside, forcing Dykstra to jam himself and ground the ball to first base.
So that leaves it up to Mariano Duncan. Dunk is 0 for 1 with a walk. 75th birthday greetings tonight to Edith Arrigo, 75. Dunk has a rip, 1 strike.
Now with the man on third, with Morandini on third base, Laker's ability to block the ball in the dirt comes into play, and Laker is very good at it.
Fouled away, and so Dunk will have to be a defensive hitter too. It's 0-2. Here's a nice round number, a 25th wedding anniversary for Martha and Gay Appler of Thornton, number 25.
Expos also know that Duncan much more prefers to hit the fastball than the breaking ball, so we'll probably stay with the breaking ball.
Oh, it was a fastball, but it was bearing right in on him.
0-2 decided to make sure that Dunk wasn't leaning out over the plate looking for that breaking ball, which it appears he is. You see him right here, and then all of a sudden he has to pull back at the last second. The ball off his bat, fortunately for Duncan, goes into foul territory. Fortunately, number 1, it doesn't hit him. Number 2, fortunately, it goes into foul territory. chances are good that Dunk will not be diving out on the outside corner for a breaking ball now. As I was saying, though, with Laker, with the ability to block the breaking ball in the dirt, that's the pitch that you want to throw to Duncan, especially if you're ahead in the count. So, you know, he's got it already in his mind. If this breaking ball bounces, I'm going to make sure that I block it and keep it in front of me.
Breaking ball. He struck him out with the runner at third base. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 left. We move to the last of the 5th. 2-1 Montreal. Phillies baseball on Sports Channel, brought to you by Jiffy Lube, America's favorite oil change. By Bell of Pennsylvania Yellow Pages, no other book can match it, a Bell Atlantic company. And by the Pennsylvania Lottery, a participating advertiser in Phillies baseball. Lottery proceeds benefit older Pennsylvanians. Bottom half of the 5th inning coming up. Montreal leads at 2-1. Sean Berry is up there. He drove in a run on a sacrifice fly run batted in. That gave the Expos the lead they currently enjoy. Berry seeing more and more action at third base. He's wound up at third each of the last 2 nights, though he didn't start there as he has tonight, but he's made a couple of pretty good plays in the field in this series.
Made one in last night's ball game that saved the Expos a couple runs.
Yeah. Schilling sneaks a slider past him, 1-2. Oh, close. 2-2. Bottom third of the order for Kurt here. Berry, Laker, and Bottenfield to bat here in the 5th for Montreal. Coming into the inning, Schilling has retired 5 in a row. Pretty well hit left center field. Dykstra back. It's gone. Berry with his 2nd home run of the year, and Montreal leads it 3-1.
When Sean Berry hit this ball, I did not think it was going out of the ballpark, and I think when it came off the bat, Lenny Dykstra did not either. It appears that Berry catches the ball out toward the end of the bat with the uppercut swing. Lenny just keeps drifting and drifting and drifting, thinking he has a play. Ball hits off the top of the wall. Just kind of skims off the top and goes on over. Sean Berry with a home run. Put the Expos ahead by a score of 3-1.
The hitter is Laker. Berry has 2 home runs this year. The Phillies have seen them both. Terry Mulholland yielded the other one. Laker was called out on strikes his first time up there.
I really believe that Lenny was fooled by that ball as much as I did. Not that he would have had a play. It hit off the top of the wall, and that wall's about 15 feet high out there, so he didn't have a play. But just the way he approached it, he didn't think the ball was going to carry that well either. But Berry, pretty strong guy, caught that ball out toward the end of the bat with an uppercut swing and just rode it on out of here.
Ball 3. It's obviously unnerved Schilling a bit here as he falls behind in the count 3-0 to the number 8 hitter. That's the 11th home run given up by Schilling. He's high in the Phillies staff in that category. (3-1) pitch. Now it's a full count on Laker. Our next Sports Channel game will be on Monday at Veterans Stadium. The Phillies and the Atlanta Braves at 7:30. Be the first trip of the year for the Braves into Philadelphia, and they've started to right their ship a little bit lately, Teak. That good pitching that everybody knew would come through has started to do exactly that.
Well, they were pitching well early in the season. The problem was that the offense was just lagging behind, and there was some thought in Atlanta that part of the problem was during the offseason there was so much talk about the pitching that the hitters felt like they didn't have a job to do, and they just kind of lackadaisically went about it. They have now picked it up a notch.
Laker called out on strikes for the 2nd straight time. Schilling's 4th strikeout. And certainly key among those hitters getting going for the Braves is Terry Pendleton.
Yeah, he was off to just a horrendous start. He wasn't hitting the ball at all, hitting about 150, and now all of a sudden Pendleton's bat starting to come alive. Dave Justice's bat is starting to come alive. Ron Gant is starting to hit. So the Atlanta Braves adding some of that offense to that very, very good pitching that they have.
Bottenfield 0 for 1, ground ball to second. Here's a looper. Mickey is back. Morandini makes the play. Bottenfield out on a little humpback looper. 2 outs. Top of the order, Delino DeShields, and he's been on both times tonight. Single and walk, scored 1 run. Well, you knew it was just a matter of time till he started contributing. He had been 0 for 10 in the series through the first 2 games. So the Expos, maybe in a way, were fortunate to have 1 win when your leadoff man is 0 for 2 in a pair of ball games.
Well, he is to the top of the Expo lineup what Lenny Dykstra is to the top of the Philly lineup.
That stays fair. Kruk makes the play, and that takes care of the Expos, but they get a run on the home run by Berry. They're only hit, nobody left. And after 5, it's 3-1 Expos.
Already added. That's why there's only one match from Matchlight. Matchlight from Kingsford.
When good just isn't good enough.
Hey, that's super premium. Do you really think you need that high in octane for your car?
I don't know, but I do know this. I feel my car runs better on premium, and I have other things to worry about.
You don't take any chances, do you?
I figure if I put the best in, I'll get the best out.
So when good just isn't good enough for you, experience our best. Fly with the new Superpower. Citgo.
Matchlight Charcoal has just the right amount of lighter fluid, already added. That's why there's only one match for Matchlight. Matchlight from Kingsford.
Interesting week of baseball starting tomorrow night at Veterans Stadium. The Marlins are in for 4. 7:35 tomorrow and Friday. Saturday also at that time with the Upper Deck Heroes game at 6. Cap Day Sunday at 1:35. Then the Atlanta Braves pay their first visit Monday and Tuesday each at 7:35, and the business person special on Wednesday the 23rd. 463-1000 the number for your tickets. Montreal leads the game by a 3-1 score. Greg Colbran has taken over at first base for the Expos. Eisenreich is leading off for the Phillies. Jim tonight 0 for 2. Bottenfield has given up 1 hit since the 3rd inning. Eisenreich has flied to center and popped to short. Each team with 4 hits, but Montreal leads 3-1.
Phillies getting down toward the bottom of the order. We see Larry Anderson warming up in the Philly bullpen. That would indicate that if the Phillies get down to Schilling's spot, the 4th spot this inning, that Jim Fregosi is going to go to a pinch hitter.
Foul ball. Schill's done a nice job, but team hasn't done much scoring behind him. You know, you always want a pitcher to keep you in the ball game. Well, he's done that. But the Phils need some runs.
Really, the Expos have got as much mileage as they can out of their offense. 4 base hits and 1 walk. Only 5 base runners allowed by Schilling, but they've been able to convert those into 3 runs.
Up the middle, base hit for Eisenreich. So the Phillies have their leadoff man aboard here as Eisenreich gets Phillies hit number 5.
Bottenfield had been working Eisenreich with fastballs in and breaking balls away. This time he ggets the fastball out in the middle of the plate, and Eisy just slams it right back past him up the middle. So the Phillies with a leadoff base runner.
Batiste, twice he has struck out. Bullpen action for Montreal. Jeff Fassaro. Fassaro has been in both ball games in this series. He pitched 2 1/3 innings here on Monday night, didn't give up a hit or a run. Pitched an inning and a third last night, and ditto, no hits, no runs, so he's done a nice job. Take with the day off Thursday for Montreal, I guess they can afford to use their bullpen a little more freely here tonight, knowing they've got that day off.
They've got the day off, and the Expo bullpen is going to be looking forward to that day off because they have been doing a lot of work recently. Philippe Alou and Joe Kerrigan have had to go to that bullpen many, many times, much more than they've wanted to.
Larry Boa giving the signs to Batiste. Certainly when you think of Bottenfield, you wouldn't be thinking complete game. So there's a good chance that we'll be seeing that Montreal bullpen again tonight. The ball gets away from Laker. Eisenreich goes to second base. Laker failed to hold it.
Breaking ball. Laker shifts out and tries to get there. Just was not able to get the glove all the way down to the ground. Hits off the bottom edge of his glove and shoots under his shin guard before he can get it down to the ground. We mentioned that Laker is good at blocking balls and keeping them in front of him. That one was so far off to the side and out of the strike zone, difficult to get the body shifted all the way out there. The farther the ball goes left and right on a catcher, the more difficult the block is.
It's a wild pitch. And a 1-2 count on Batiste. Kim chases one. Kim didn't run to first base. First is unoccupied. Strikeout number 6 for Bottenfield. First out of the inning. So Batiste has struck out all 3 times he's up there. Morandini, Mickey 1 for 2. Fly ball to left, single to right. Wes Chamberlain moves into the on-deck circle. Excuse me, Milt Thompson. It's not Chamberlain. Makes the play to first, and Eisenreich gets to third base, but there are 2 outs, and Thompson will be up as the pinch hitter. Milt Thompson is going to bat for Schilling. Milt hitting at .231 with a homer, 21 RBI. Still looking for his first pinch hit. Milt is 0 for 7 as a pinch hitter.
So Larry Anderson will be in the ballgame next inning for the Phillies. Andy, of course, did not have to work last night, as the Expos have a little conference on the mound. Because of the work of the starting pitcher, Schilling, and all the rest of the guys, Jim Fregosi has really been able to designate his bullpen in 2 different sections. He has the guys that he uses when he's ahead in the ball game, and he has the guys that he uses when he's behind in the ball game. When he's ahead, you'll see West, Anderson, and Williams. When he's behind, you'll see De Leon, Mauser, and Mark Davis.
Ball 1. Official National League attendance tonight, 14,231. That doesn't sound like much, but it's the largest of the 3 nights here. One and one on Milt. Thompson trying to get the Phillies closer. It's 3-1 Montreal. Inside. 2-1.
This is a big run in the ball game if Milt can cash in Eisenreich from third base, because of the fact that it makes it a 1-run ball game. And a 1-run ball game, every hitter that comes to the plate is a potential tying run. You don't need to get a man on before the tying run comes to the plate. He's always there.
Inside again. 3-1.
With the Phillies' ability to hit the long ball, that makes you dangerous every time somebody steps to the plate.
Thompson, base hit. Phillies get the run. It's a 3-2 ball game. Thompson's first pinch hit of the year.
And a big one.
Expo lead sliced back to 1.
Jim Eisenreich gets on base, moves up on the wild pitch, over on the ground out, and Milt Thompson got that breaking ball up in the strike zone and just hammered it. What Milty does so well, and when he's hitting well, is he's hitting the ball on the line and hitting the ball on the ground. He stayed on top of that breaking ball and drove it through the right side rather than popping it in the air. And Felipe Alou is on his way to the mound, and I believe we're going to see Jeff Facero.
Oh yeah, he's already made the wave, so he wants the left-handed pitcher to face Lenny Dykstra. Pitching change here at the Big O. It's 3-2 Montreal. We'll be right back.
Trouble with heartburn? Well, you could change your job, change your lifestyle, change your diet.
Bon appetit.
Or better still, reach for Rolaids. It absorbs acid fast to bring 100% relief to millions. So maybe you can't change your life, but you can get relief in original and calcium rich. Rolaids spells relief.
Now it's time to take a look at the Rolaids relief statistics. Rolaids spells relief. First in the American League, 55 points for Aggie. Jeff Montgomery, who is turning in to be a terrific closer, is number 2 spot there, and Ward has 46 points. In the National League, Randy Myers, overall leader. He's got 59 points, so he's the major league leader. Rod Beck is also having a terrific year for the Giants, and we're going to see Brian Harvey starting tomorrow night. What a luxury for those Marlins.
Well, the Marlins have loved having Brian Harvey in that bullpen. He's really why the Marlins have been as successful as they are. See Randy Myers with his 21 saves. He picked up his 21st last night.
Well, speaking of relief pitchers, we've got Facero coming on for Montreal. He certainly has been the man to turn to. He's had 2 perfect outings for the Expos in this series, hasn't even given up a hit. He's second in the league in appearances with 32, a 5-1 record for him, 2.61 no saves. He's been strictly a middle inning guy, but a very, very good one for Felipe Alou to turn to, and he wants to get him in here to face Dykstra.
Facero, one of those guys with the rubber arm, knows, Felipe Alou knows that on any given day he can use Facero. Now there has been some criticism of Alou and the way he's used his bullpen due to the fact that he's starting to wear some of those guys down, especially Mel Rojas. They feel is paying the price for having pitched as many innings as he has. Facero seems to be holding up pretty well through all of it, though.
Lenny 0 for 2 with a walk, stolen base, and run. Lenny has scored runs in 11 straight Phillies games. Outside, ball 1. Thompson the runner at first. Milt has stolen 7 bases. He's been caught twice. Thompson just picked up his 22nd run batted in, and it's a tight ball game, 3-2 Montreal.
Facero's big pitch is his slider. Threw the first one to Dykstra and threw it outside. He will throw a lot of them. He will throw a lot of them low.
Like there.
What happened last night when Facero was in the ballgame is the Philly hitters were swinging at that ball down low out of the strike zone and really helping him out. You want to have patience against a guy like this. Try to make him bring that ball up in the strike zone or get him into a bad count where he has to throw you that fastball, throw you his second best pitch rather than trying to hit that good slider of his.
Getting Thompson back. Reds have taken a 4-3 lead over the Giants in the 7th inning tonight. Atlanta 4, Mets 2, top of the 6th. Fastball in on Lenny, trying to hang in as long as he could. 3-0 the count. And Duncan will bat next.
Now Lenny back into that patient mode again. Opportunity here if he can coax a walk from Facero, get Thompson into scoring position with 2 outs.
Strike, 3-1.
Now at 3-1, Lenny has the luxury of picking the pitch that he wants to hit. Facero has to come in on the 3-1 pitch. If it isn't in the area that Lenny likes, he also knows that Facero has to come in on the 3-2 pitch. So really no difference between these 2 pitches. Just pick which one you like the best.
Fouled it.
Got the fastball. Just hit on top of it a little bit. Facero in a little dilemma now. Now he's at 3-2. He has to throw a strike. The only strikes that he's thrown have been with the fastball. All the breaking balls have been out of the strike zone. Do you go to your best pitch, take a chance of throwing it out of the strike zone, or do you throw your second best pitch on a 3-2 count? That's what Jeff Facero has to decide right here. Appears as if Laker called for the fastball.
It is, and it's low. So Lenny draws his second walk of the night, and the Phillies have 2 on with 2 outs. Mariano Duncan 0 for 2 plus a walk.
Joe Kerrigan quickly comes out of the dugout for the Expos. As we mentioned, the Expos have used a lot of pitchers. There's no action in their bullpen right now. Facero in a situation where the left-handed pitcher has to pitch to the right-handed hitting Duncan. Now, again, decision time. We know Mariano likes to hit off left-handed pitchers, has a great history of hitting against left-handed pitchers. You don't want to pitch him too carefully, though, because John Kruk, Darren Dalton are coming up next. So Facero's in a little bit of a spot, and Felipe Alou's in a little bit of a spot because he doesn't have enough people to run in and out of the bullpen to start mixing and matching his pitchers against the Philly hitters at this point in the game.
2 on with 2 outs. Phillies a run short. Duncan takes it low, ball 1. Mariano has drawn 2 walks in the series, showing more patience at the plate.
Dunk able to stay off of that breaking ball down.
There's Mel Rojas. He has not had a good year. You think of him as being the ultimate setup man. He's had some great years, but his numbers this year don't look too good. Duncan chases one. 1-1.
Well, as we mentioned earlier with Rojas, there's a lot of thought that Felipe Alou burned him out last year. Pitched over 100 innings out of that bullpen as he and Facero, the 2 main setup men for Wetland. Rojas appears to be just a little bit short this year. His stuff not quite as effective. He was an overpowering pitcher the last couple of years, but seems to be suffering from the amount of innings that he has pitched.
It's foul. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes on Mariano in a key spot in our ball game. We're in the 7th, and the Expos continue to lead 3-2. The Phillies, by scoring in the first inning in every game in this contest, every game in this series, have had leads in every game, obviously. But the series is all even, and this is the rubber game. The Phillies lead the majors with their 22-9 record on the road. That is amazing to play that type of baseball outside your own ballpark. Nobody else in the big leagues has this year. Duncan got jammed and he fouls it back 1-2. Jeff Facero, we've seen him every night. He's from Springfield, Illinois, 30 years of age now. He was not a high draft choice. The Cardinals drafted him 22nd back in 1984. Montreal got him as a 6-year minor league free agent. Good stop by Laker. It's 2-2. The Phillies record of 45-18. The best in baseball, but that's Major League Baseball. Believe it or not, the Expos have a farm team. The Harrisburg Senators, who have a better record than the Phillies. The Senators are 46-15. Playing Double-A ball at Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. My old hometown. I was a bat boy for that team. Teak.
A bat boy.
Bat boy. That's right. On the ground. Fielded by Berry. Guns to second. The ball is dropped. Everybody's safe. Bases loaded. Bad throw by Berry. He threw it too hard to second base. See how they score it, but the Phillies have the bases loaded.
Well, Berry has to go way over in the hole, and this ball chopped by Duncan. See, now Berry retreats a little bit, gets over in the hole, gets the ball in good shape, but now he unloads a pretty strong throw to Shields right here, and not that much distance. Wide to the right field side a little bit. Shields does a nice job of just knocking it down and keeping it in the infield. Had he been able to control the ball, I believe Dykstra would have been out at second, but very difficult to control the ball when it's thrown sidearm from that short distance. So the Phillies get a break.
Yeah, Teak, no error was charged. They're just going to rule it a fielder's choice, but I agree with you. I think they would have had an out there. Rojas is up in the bullpen. Kruk swings and misses. Kruk with an RBI single tonight, 1 for 3.
And that was a setup swing by John Kruk right there. He knows early in the count he's going to get that slider from Facero. It's probably going to be out of the strike zone. John, the type of hitter, he will swing ugly at a pitch and then sit on it the next time.
They have changed the scoring on that. Here Kruk swings and misses, and another one trying to hold this. they have decided to give Duncan a hit. So Mariano, the recipient of some nice scoring here. A little low, 1-2. Kruk in a key spot here. There are 2 outs while all of this is happening.
Phillies have now moved the go-ahead run into scoring position. Tying run at third, going-ahead run at second. Dykstra represents a go-ahead run.
In the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes on Kruk. So the Phillies have out-hit Montreal 7-4, but they're still short a run.
You're Jeff Fassero in this situation. You want to throw a strike right here. You don't want to go to 3-2 with 2 outs and let the runners start moving.
Kruk gets a piece of it and fouls it. Stays alive at a 2-2 count. Big spot for John. As we say, he has 1 run batted in tonight. Ostensibly, they have Rojas up to face Incaviglia. But by the time Inky gets to the plate this inning, the Phillies are going to lead by 2. Are going to lead by 1.
Well, hopefully we'll see Mr. Rojas this inning then.
Yeah.
I like the scenario.
Struck him out. Kruk throws the bat, throws the helmet. He's frustrated as Fassero strikes him out. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. 1 run, 3 hits, 3 men left on base. It's 3-2 Expos.
We need to talk. You see, you and I have something.
Got both batters that he faced. Can't seem to get the big hit tonight, Teak.
Well, the Phillies with an opportunity that inning, mostly courtesy of the Montreal Expos. Expos with the error in the inning, also the walk to Dykstra when Fassero first came in the ballgame. So Phillies given a couple of chances to improve their lot, but were not able to take advantage of it. John Kruk striking out with the bases loaded in 2 outs.
You talked about the error in the inning. You know, they wound up scoring that a base hit.
Well, that's right. They did change that. Should have been an error.
I thought so too, but Duncan got a single. But you're right.
It was still a freebie.
Yeah. Greg Colbrin is batting for the first time. He came in as a defensive replacement for the Expos. Colbrin hitting at .274. 4 home runs, 19 runs batted in. He'll be followed by Alou and Berry. Larry always works from the stretch. And here's a ball drilled to left field. Inky has room, though. It kind of died. It looked like that was going to go further when it left his bat. But Colbrin didn't get all of it, and he's out.
Larry Anderson with that cut fastball, slider, whatever you want to call it. At the last second, it just tails away a little bit, and Colbrin catches it out toward the end of the bat. He had a good swing at the ball. Had that ball not had that little darting movement on it at the end, he would have caught that on the good part, and that would have been way out of here. But fortunately for Andy, fortunately for the Phillies, it darted out there. Colbrin caught it on the end. Inky made the catch on the track.
Alou is at the plate. He takes ball 1. Moises 0 for 2 in this one. Both ground balls, 1 to second, 1 to short. In the air to shallow right field. Eisenreich loses the cap, makes the catch, 2 outs. And now one of the most troublesome hitters for the Phillies tonight, Sean Berry. Homered his last time up and got a run in the first time on a sacrifice fly, so he's got credit for 2 of the 3 Montreal runs tonight. Hitting at .242.
When Larry Anderson's on, he will just live on that outside corner. See Dutch will just shift out there, put the glove up. Oh, a little bit outside. We're heading the count. We'll move it out a little farther. And he's just got excellent control on that outside part of the plate. He almost owns that part. Whenever he wants to go there, that's his happy spot out there.
And Berry chased one out there. 1-2.
It's fun to watch Andy pitch because everybody that goes to the plate knows what he's going to throw. Every once in a while he'll throw a fastball inside, but the majority of the pitches are going to be that cut fastball or slider, whatever you want to call it, on the outside part of the plate. He is just so efficient at keeping it in that very small area down and away.
Close, but he missed. 2-2. Larry has done a real nice job for the Phillies, and they were hurting during the time that he was on the DL. That was a bleak period. A pop-up, foul out of play. He literally has not had a bad outing.
Well, he's been a consistent performer. You know, when you look at Larry Anderson and you try to analyze, okay, what do you look for in a pitcher? He's not it. He's not the overpowering guy. He doesn't have the kind of stuff you look for. But if you look back at his stats year after year after year, he just gets people out.
And he gets a strikeout here in a 1-2-3 inning. So down go the Expos. We head to the 8th inning, 3-2 Montreal.
You know, a lot of people think you have to be a pro to shop at Sherwin-Williams. Actually, you just have to want to paint like one. That's why they're having a do-it-yourself sale. Their best-selling A100 exterior flat is only $13.99, and Classic 99 interior flat is just $12.99. It ends June 26th. So if you're a do-it-yourselfer, you better get going.
This is your world, genuine and true, working together in all that you do, and you're giving it your best. Proud to be your bud. Budweiser. Proud to be your bud. Proud to be your bud. Ooh, yeah. Proud to be your bud.
If you want the hottest looking new compact pickup, and you want the #1 selling compact pickup in America, then see your Quality Plus Ford dealer now during Ford Truck Month. Now a 93 Ranger is all new inside and out, and is just $199 per month for 24 months. Ford Ranger Splash is now the sportiest new pickup in town. Hurry, Ford Truck Month ends soon. See your Quality Plus Ford dealer today.
You better hit the ground running in a new Ford truck. Phillies baseball on Sports Channel is brought to you by Bud Light. Day in and day out, at home or on the road, you can always count on the great taste of Bud Light. It won't fill you up and it never lets you down, so make it a Bud Light. And by your Quality Plus Ford dealer, get great deals on 5 of the 10 best-selling cars and trucks in America during the Great American Ford Sales Event at your Quality Plus Ford dealer. 8th inning. Gone fast, and Montreal still leads 3-2. Darren Dalton will be leading it off. Darren's had a good ball game, single, double in 3 at-bats, struck out last time up. They've got Rojas up in the bullpen again. Maybe they're going to have Facero start the inning and then bring Rojas in to face Incaviglia, regardless of what Darren does.
We got to watch when you do that, though, because then you got Eisenreich coming up next. So.
You wonder about the overexposure of a Facero, though. We talked about.
He's pitched 4 innings coming into tonight in the last 2 ball games.
He's been very effective, but the infield single that Duncan got, which really shouldn't have been a single, was the only hit he's given up in this entire series.
The other thing you have to throw into the equation is John Wetland pitching 2 innings in last night's ball game. How available is he this evening?
You know, I asked him that very question on our radio Star of the Game show last night. He said, oh, I'm available. He says, I get better as I go along. He said, I'm better on the 2nd and 3rd night than I am on the 1st night. So we'll see about that.
We'll see about that. You have to also add to that equation the fact that he did hurt his knee last night in the ball game.
Yes, he did. He talked about that. Dalton takes a strike. He said, after I hurt my knee, was facing Incaviglia at the time, and he wound up walking him. He said, but I made an adjustment out there and learned to throw a slightly different way, and he had a couple more strikeouts after that. So you certainly can't fault his performance.
Oh, you do have to wonder how that knee reacted after a night's rest and a chance to stiffen up after an injury like that.
It is low, and Darren Dalton draws a walk to lead off the inning. Darren, one of the top receivers of free passes. So the Phillies always keep the pressure on one way or the other. They're always up to something.
3 times previously this evening, the Phillies have had the leadoff man on. Twice he has scored. This being the 4th time. Baker with a quick trip out to the mound. This could have been dictated by the dugout, trying to buy a little time for Rojas down in the bullpen, although he was down there last inning. Shouldn't need too much to be ready.
Here comes Felipe out. Looks like he's going to make a double change as he stops to talk with Reeker first. So let's see what Felipe has in mind here. The last batter was Berry in the inning. So we'll see if that's who is going to leave the ball game or not. Cordero's coming out, so he'll probably play shortstop, and Lansing will move over to third, and they'll take Berry out of the ball game. Pitching change at Montreal. We'll be right back.
If you want a roomy, comfortable V6 powered family van, and you want a double bonus discount on your new van, then see your Quality Plus Ford dealer now during Ford Truck Month. With a double bonus discount and cash back, you can now save $2,900 on Aerostar. Plus, you get 7 passenger seating and more towing capacity than Dodge Caravan. Hurry, Ford Truck Month ends soon. See your Quality Plus Ford dealer today.
You better hit the ground running in a new Ford truck.
Upon completing the rear axle of C-Diagram 70's 9-inch gripping wrench, tighten the C-Diagram 70 to secure the frame extenders to the housing mount. Congratulations, you built a tricycle. While the simplest things can be made complex, the challenge is making the complex simple. But that's what we do at Bell Atlantic Mobile, with straight answers, clear explanations, and with no assembly required. Bell Atlantic Mobile, advanced technology and people who make it mean something.
Lansing moves from shortstop to third base. Will Cordero comes in to play his normal spot shortstop. And here's Mel Rojas. Last night the Phillies got a run off Rojas in a third of an inning. And the night before, Rojas was in the ball game and gave up the grand slam to Eisenreich. 2 of the runs were charged to him. So let's take a look at the numbers of Rojas, and they are not too pretty. 1 and 5, 4.45 earned run average. He has earned 6 saves, which is second high on his team. He was the closer in the early part of the year, while Wetland was on the disabled list with that bad foot.
As we mentioned, this is Rojas' 31st appearance of the season. And a concern on some people's part that Rojas has been overworked and does not have the kind of stuff that he's had the last couple of years for the Expos.
Rojas will try to get Incaviglia and hopefully try to get him to ground into a double play. From Montreal's point of view, Inky tonight is 0 for 3. He has struck out, fly to right, fly to center. Rojas is related to the skipper. He is a nephew of Jesus and Felipe Alou. Jesus signed him to a contract. He was signed as a free agent back in '85. Strike on the outside corner. Three to 2 Montreal. Dalton at first, representing the tying run for the Phillies. Delino DeShields is the only infielder for the Expos who was in his original spot when the game started. Inky, that's a strike. He went after it. It's been 0-2 on Inky all 4 times he's been up there tonight. That's a tough way to hit.
Well, Inky looks for the ball on the inside part of the plate early in the count. Expo pitchers have done very well tonight, keeping the ball on the outer part of the plate, as I mentioned earlier. He is patient for a power hitter. He does look for the ball that he can drive early in the count. They've made some good pitches. You have to tip your hat to him for that.
Pop up back of second base. DeShields giving way now. Long run for Walker, but he's there to make the play. Rojas gets Incaviglia for the first out. Eisenreich coming up now. As we mentioned, Eisenreich hit a grand slam off Rojas here 2 nights ago. This evening, Jim is 1 for 3.
It appears as if Rojas is out there on his own right now. Felipe Alou with no action at all in the bullpen. If Wetland is healthy, you would probably imagine that he will come in and pitch the 9th inning if the Expos still have the lead.
And yet, Teak, by the way that Felipe massaged his lineup there to make sure that Rojas was batting where he couldn't be disturbed, you wonder whether he is planning to bring Wetland in.
Exactly what I was thinking about. The double switch makes you at least a little bit suspicious that Wetland may not be 100% this evening.
That's a strike. Only twice in this game have the Phillies gone 1-2-3. So even though they've scored only 2 runs, they've kept the pressure on. Out into left field. Getting back is Alou. Makes the play. Eisenreich retired for the 2nd out here in the 8th. Kim Batiste will be the batter, and he's had a tough night. He has struck out all 3 times he's been up there.
And all 3 times have been on breaking balls out of the strike zone.
Well, that's been a bugaboo for Kim's. And the more scouts watch him do that, the more he's going to have to adjust, because that's what they're going to give him. Strike on the outside corner.
And as a hitter, it doesn't help you when the pitcher jumps out in front, because then he has the luxury of throwing that breaking ball out of the strike zone. And if you do take it, it doesn't really bother him.
Dalton started the inning by walking. He's still out there. Oh, and 2. Keeping Dalton close. Darren can run despite all those knee operations. He is a plus runner. Still alive. Laker didn't hold it. Nothing in 2 on Batiste.
Interesting. 0-2 in the count. Laker and Rojas elect to go inside with the fastball. I mentioned Batista struck out 3 times on that breaking ball away and down. They have gone inside with the fastball. 0-2.
In the dirt. No advance. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Now that he came back with that breaking ball in the dirt, you almost have the feeling that that fastball before was not intended to be a strike. Rojas probably got a little bit more of the plate than he had intended with that pitch.
Key spot for Rojas. Phillies in a little frustrating situation here. They left 15 runners on last night, a season's high. They've stranded quite a few of them tonight. Batiste fouls it away. 7 to be exact, with another one out there right now. Meantime, the Expos have had only 4 hits in the game, but they lead 3-2. Phillies have 7 hits.
throw over to first base. Right before that, we saw Laker again moving to the inside part of the plate. The catcher shifts to the inside part of the plate with a right-handed hitter up. Normally means fastball. You're not going to throw that many breaking balls and try to throw breaking balls to a right-handed hitter on the inside part of the plate. If you're outside, it can be fastball or breaking ball. But if you see Laker shift to the inside, good chance it's going to be a fastball.
Struck him out. Kim Batiste has fanned 4 times. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. No runs, no hits, 1 man left on base. Montreal leads 3-2 in the 8th.
Master the art of pitching and catching with Play Ball, the Major League way. You'll go inside the game to learn the Major League secrets for successful pitching. The coaches who teach the pros will now teach you.
What you get on a cross seam is a truer flight of the ball. The ball's going to spin off here.
Plus, you'll see Major League stars apply the same game-tested pitching techniques. Then you'll go behind the plate to uncover Major League methods, including blocking home plate, accurate throws, and even flashing signs.
Make sure that those signs are given well back in that groin area so that they're well protected and only your people can see them.
To learn how to catch like a pro, it's Play Ball, the Major League way. To order pitching and catching for $19.95 plus $4 shipping, send check or money order to this address. Or use your credit card and call 1-800-255-9200. That's 1-800-255-9200.
Deck asked a few average card collectors whose cards they collect.
I collect Steve Young. I collect endorsements. I collect back doctors, surgeons, rings.
I collect fines. I just collect fishing lures. The musky dingbat.
Dingbat.
I have a 56 powder blue Chevy.
Powder blue.
A Ferrari.
I collect Reggie.
Rolls Royce.
Reggie.
Really?
Not.
Yeah. The smooth. Original interior, original carpet, drives like a dream.
It's a replica of a 1933 Phillies cap, free for men 15 and over. Compliments of Texaco when the Phillies play the new Florida Marlins Sunday, June 20th at 1:35. Great way to cap off a weekend. Call 463-1000.
Well, a week from today, next Wednesday, we've got daytime baseball at Veterans Stadium. The Atlanta Braves will be in town for a 12:35 game. Today, compliments of Mellon PSFS, so start making up your excuses to sneak out of work and come see the Phillies and the Braves 1 week from today at 12:35. Here's the number for your tickets, 463-1000. If you're in Center City, you can get them at the Mellon PSFS Broad and Chestnut Streets office. Phillies have been unable to come through with the key blow in this ball game, and so as Montreal bats in the 8th, they are ahead 3-2.
Our suspicions are becoming even more founded now because John Wetland is not throwing in the Expo bullpen. So it looks as if Mel Rojas, this is his ball game.
Here's Tim Laker to lead it off for the Expos. He is 0 for 2. They've both been called third strikes. Then Cordero bats next. He's in the 9 spot, followed by DeShields. Larry Anderson has faced 3 batters, gotten them all. Pop up, he's got batter number 4. Batiste. 1 pitch and 1 out in the 8th. Cordero will hit for the first time. The Montreal shortstop bats .238. He has 19 two-base hits. He's tied with Dykstra for second in the league there. 4 homers, 21 runs batted in.
Larry Anderson's job right now is the old hold them right where they're at routine. Keep them right there. Give those Philly bats one more shot in the 9th inning.
And those Philly bats will be Morandini, pinch hitter for Anderson, and Dykstra. Off the glove of Morandini. He got up high, got leather on it, but couldn't hold it. Base hit for Cordero.
Cordero hits this ball right on the button. That little cutter that Andy doesn't get quite all the way outside. Mickey goes high into the air, just has the ball hit right at the tip of his glove, not able to control the ball, and knocks it down into short center field. But a great effort by Morandini.
Delano DeShields 1 for 2 plus a walk. His hit was an infield single, and he scored back in the first inning. And the Phillies are going to get the bullpen up. Mark Davis, left-hander.
See Andy with the slide step right there on the first pitch to DeShields. Cordero has been successful in 5 of 6 stolen base attempts. We'll see Davis heating it up in the Philly bullpen. Again, one of those situations where you would expect Felipe Alou to try to push a little bit, try to get that extra run, put his running game in motion.
On the ground, Mickey's got it. Flip over to Duncan and back on to first for a double play. So the Expos are down. We're going to the 9th. It's 3-2 Montreal.
In a game rich with traditions, Sherwin-Williams has created one of its own by preserving and protecting the national shrines of our national pastime. This is the paint of the pros, and it's the choice of millions of fans at home. And while your town may not have a big league ballpark in it, it does have a big league paint store. The pros know. Ask Sherwin-Williams.
Jim, give me a Bud Light. We're all out.
When it comes to clean, fresh taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, Bud Light delivers.
The Phillies take on the West in 7 big games. First, 3 with the Dodgers, Monday, July 5th, Tuesday, July 6th, and Wednesday, July 7th, all at 7:35. Followed by 4 against the Giants with Bonds, Clark, and Williams. Thursday, July 8th, and Friday, July 9th at 7:35. Saturday, July 10th at 3 o'clock. And then all kids 14 and under get a free batting practice jersey Sunday, July 11th at 1:35. Call 463-1000.
Well, I said it before and I'll say it again. It's time to stop wondering about what it's like to be a big league star and find out about next year's Phillies Dream Week, where you live, learn, laugh, and play alongside stars like Dave Cash, Larry Boa, Greg Luzinski, Del Ennis, and many more. Even I'll be there to help you have the time of your life. For full details, call 215-938-1200. That's 215-938-1200 for Phillies Dream Week. I suggest you call now for full details.
Okay, Teak, we've got Wetland warming in the bullpen as Mel Rojas is going to start the inning for Montreal. The Expos ahead 3-2. Ricky Jordan in the on-deck circle. He'll be the pinch hitter for Larry Anderson. There's the closer, Wetland. Mickey Morandini leads it off. Mickey 1 for 3 tonight. Mickey singled in the 5th inning, got as far as third base. Phillies could not get him in. Fouls it back, strike 1. Davis stays up. In the Phillies bullpen right now, it's not Davis, it's West and Mitch are both up. 2 left-handers. Davis had been up last time.
What that tells you is if the Phillies tie the score, David West is the pitcher. If the Phillies go ahead, Mitch Williams is. Plain and simple.
Now to play. So it's 1 ball and 2 strikes on Mickey.
But before we can get to West or Williams, we have to get a little action here.
Need a run.
Need some action. Need some action on the bases.
Close. Good eye by Mickey to take it. It's 2-2. Rojas came in last inning with a runner at first, nobody out, and got all 3 hitters.
Interesting, I'm watching John Wetland down in the Expo bullpen as he throws. He's jumping around very gingerly on that knee. Watching after he throws. Kind of lays that right leg down very softly.
I think a pitcher could hurt his arm adjusting his follow-through because of the knee. Morandini, fly ball to right field, but it's right where Walker is. So there's one out in the ninth. And here's Jordan, the pinch hitter. Ricky batting .302, 2 homers, 4 RBIs, 4 for 18 as a pinch hitter. Ricky popped a home run Sunday at Shea Stadium in New York. He was a pinch hitter in the 7th inning here last night and drew a walk.
If you're wondering about Jim Fregosi and the right matchup right here, Milt Thompson, the only left-handed hitter that Fregosi had on the bench this evening. All the rest of them were in the lineup. He's already been used in this ball game, so Jimmy's stuck right now with an all right-handed hitting bench.
Jordan drives one. Can Grissom get there? Yes, he can. Oh, boy. Marquise is so smooth, he glides to the ball.
Well, Ricky jumps on this first pitch fastball in the middle of the plate and drives it into left center field, but Grissom with that great speed able to track it down. Grissom plays a very shallow center field because he knows he has the speed and the ability to get back into the gaps. Right there, he shows it. Not only is he an offensive player, he's a very good defensive player.
So the Phillies, with 2 out in the ninth, bring Dykstra up. Lenny doesn't have a hit tonight, but he's walked twice and scored once. 1 stolen base. The Phillies have lost only 2 series all year, 1 at Chicago, 1 at Atlanta, and they're in jeopardy here. The last time the Phillies lost back-to-back games was to these Expos, May 21st and 22nd at the Vet. And they're in danger of doing that as well. Phillies have never lost more than 2 straight this entire year. Two and one. Awfully close, but it's 3 balls and a strike on Lenny.
Now you got to try to get inside Lenny's head. What is his thoughts? Is he trying to get on base, try to get something going here, or is he looking for 1 fastball that he can ride out of here? 5 home runs on the season. He has the ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark if he gets the ball in his zone.
That's what he does. He swings hard and sends it down the line, and it is a fair ball home run to tie the game. You called it, Deke. Lenny Dykstra has tied it up with 2 out in the ninth with a home run off Rojas. 3-3 ball game.
Well, 3 ball, 1 strike count, and Lenny was looking fastball inside part of the plate. Says, I got the ability to hit this thing out of the ballpark. Get me 1 in my zone. Well, Mel Rojas snuck 1 right in there. Up and on the inside part of the plate. Dykstra hits it just inside the foul net down the right field. Down to the last breath, and Lenny Dykstra drives the ball out of here, ties the ball game at 3-3, and the Phillies are still alive.
Duncan swings and misses. Duncan got an infield single last time up. Dunk 1 for 3 plus a walk. So the Phillies have picked themselves right up off the mat. And now you know why Jim Fregosi had the bullpen up, because this game is going to continue.
What a clutch hit by Lenny Dykstra, and what a great job of hitting. Working the count to 3-1 where he knows Rojas has to throw him the fastball. He's not going to get the splitter. He's not going to get the curve. He's going to get the pitch he wants. And then once he gets it, nails it. That's the sign of a really good hitter. A lot of guys can work themselves into a situation where they get the pitch that they want, but you have to be really disciplined to be able to stay on top of that ball and hit it hard once you get it.
San Francisco has tied the Reds 4-4 in the ninth. Duncan looper back of second, but Delino goes back and makes the play.
Well, here it is, 3-1. Fastball up inside half. Lenny keeps his head down and drives right through it. The only question is it going to stay?
As easy as 1, 2, 3. Just drive into a mobile pay at the pump station. Use your ATM or credit card. It doesn't cost you any more. Then pump away. take your receipt and drive away. Pay at the pump at Mobil's. It's the fastest way to drive your engine clean.
Spectacular fireworks timed to magnificent music after the San Diego doubleheader Friday, July 2nd at 4:35, and again Saturday, July 3rd after the 7:05 game. Compliments of Mellon PSFS. Call 463-1000.
3-3 game going to the bottom of the ninth, and David West comes on to pitch for the Phillies, making appearance number 26. A 1-1 record, 2.51 earned run average, 2 saves for David. And he has the heart of the lineup to deal with here, Lansing, Grissom, and Walker, as we hit here in the bottom half of the ninth inning. West has done an outstanding job for the Phillies.
He and Larry Anderson out of that bullpen have really made a major difference in this ball club this year. The element that was missing last year was the good setup guys to, number one, get to Mitch, and number two, keep some of the workload off of him. West and Anderson have done that superbly this season.
Lansing tonight 1 for 3. It was a single in the first inning. Since then, he's flied to right and struck out. Two balls and no strikes.
As a pitcher right now, what you have to do is try to stay within yourself. You get so pumped up not only because you're in the ball game, but because of the way the Phillies tied the ball game up. David West wanted to really slam the door on the Montreal Expos. Has to stay within himself and do what he does naturally. Don't overthrow the ball. It looked like those first couple pitches he might have overthrown a little bit. That one there, more relaxed delivery.
That's ball 3, 3-1. And Teak, I'm sure you would agree too that sometimes there's a little adjustment to the mound when you first come in too. That's why you see a lot of pitchers settle in after they've faced a couple of hitters. A relief pitcher doesn't really have that luxury of being able to do that though.
No, you have to make the adjustment quickly.
Well, he walks Lansing, and he certainly didn't want to do that. Lansing has stolen 8 bases in 9 tries. That's only the second Expo to walk in this game. The other walk was way back in the 3rd inning.
Dutch out to the mound, have a quick chat with David. Come on, big guy, just keep it together now. Stay with me, work with me.
Here's Marquise Grissom. He has a 14-game hitting streak on the line. He has been unable to extend it tonight, and had his team held the lead, he wouldn't have even had a chance, but now he gets this bonus opportunity. He is 0 for 3 with an RBI on a ground out. He was also picked off first base. 323 is Marquise's average. Lansing's getting a pretty good lead. Looked like it was a one-way lead though, because he was headed back to first as West made the pitch.
He had 1 foot out on the turf, but then as soon as David West picked up his leg, he took that half step back toward first base.
West goes ball 1 on the second hitter in a row though. You don't like to see your reliever do that. There's a strike, catching the outside corner. 1-1 on Grissom.
I don't think you're as likely to see Lansing run with Grissom at the plate, a right-handed hitter. If Walker comes up, the left-on-left matchup, you might have more of a tendency to see Lansing try to take off.
Low, 2-1. Grissom 0 for 1, batting off West. That at bat coming back at Veterans Stadium when the Expos were in May. Phillies' desire is to get this game into extra innings. They are undefeated in extra inning ball games this year. The Phillies they haven't played one now for quite some time, but in extra innings this year, the Phillies are 6-0, winning 3 on the road and winning 3 at the vet. Into the air, should be caught. Eisenreich. That's the first out. Grissom flies to Eisenreich. And Larry Walker will be the hitter. Walker 0 for 3 in the ball game tonight. He has struck out line to left and fouled out to Batiste. He faced West in Philadelphia, got 1 hit and 2 at bats. Just for the record, we're not there yet, but just looking ahead, the Expos are 1 and 5 in extra innings. So they want to end it right here. They don't want to go there.
Well, that's a reflection of the problems that they've had in the bullpen.
Yeah, they started the year without their closer, Wetland. Talked to him about that on that radio interview last night. He said that he's an emotional kind of player. He said, I don't ever show it on the field because you're not supposed to do that. He said, but he says in batting practice you can do something like that. And he was ticked off at something that happened, and he kicked the screen in batting practice and broke a bone in his foot. Seems so stupid in retrospect, which he admits. That's ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes on Walker. The on-deck hitter is Colburn.
Much the same situation now with David West and Larry Walker as with Lenny Dykstra. You have to be careful with the pitch that you throw here, because Walker is going to be looking for a ball that he can either hit out of the ballpark or a ball that he can hit into the gap to try to score the winning run. You have to keep pitching right here.
Ball 4, and the Expos get the potential winning run to second base. West has walked 2. Johnny Padres on his way to the hill.
What that walk has done is, unless there's a double play ball in this inning, Moises Alou is going to get a swing of the bat this inning. We mentioned earlier, Moises has been a little bit hot recently. It would be nice right now to see one of those nice sharp 1 or 2 hoppers right at your shortstop.
Well, why not, Teak? You called the home run. Maybe you can call a double play ground ball, huh? Or even a line drive ground ball. We'll take that. Here's Colburn. He's had only 1 at bat tonight. He lined out to left field. He's also had 1 at bat off West in which he failed to get a hit. 2 on with 1 out in the 9th and a 3-3 tie.
What would help David West out a lot in this situation is strike 1. He's been ball 1 on all first 3 hitters the Expos have sent up. But it has to be a good quality strike. Just can't throw it right down the middle.
Foul back. There's a strike. Talking with Colburn before the ball game, you know, they thought he was going to be their catcher of the future, but he suffered an arm injury and he had to have arm surgery. He can't throw that well. I asked him if catching is in his future somewhere. He says, I'm just trying to get healthy and play first base. He said somewhere down the line maybe, but I'm not thinking about it now. It's time called. A little dance down there by the runner at second, Lansing, caused West to take a little extra time, and that caused Colburn to ask for time.
Phillies defensively have John Kruk playing behind Larry Walker at first base, so Walker able to get a pretty sizable lead at first base, which means on a double play ball he's going to be down on top of the relay man at second base.
High and away, a ball. They play him that way to close the hole on the right side, needless to say, because his run doesn't mean anything. 1 ball and 1 strike on Colburn.
There's Walker already out on the turf. Good 2 steps out there.
outside. Mike Gardner, a right-hander, is throwing in Montreal's bullpen.
No action at all in the Philly bullpen. There's Sid Gardner.
Gardner has not been in a game in this series. Colburn gives it a ride. Eisenreich back. He makes the catch. Tagging at second base is Lansing. He goes to third. That's the second out, and a terrific catch because Eisenreich was shallow, and that almost got over his head.
2 balls and 1 strike behind in the count. West has to come in with the fastball. Does get it on the outside part of the plate. Colburn hits it the other way, deep to right field. Eisenreich just hits the track, knows he's got just about enough room. Makes the catch about 1 step short of hitting the wall, able to hold on to the ball quickly, gets it back into the infield. You always have to be alert. Lansing at second base went hard to third base looking for a chance to try to score from second base on that play. See Darren Dalton out in front of the mound right now. I think what he's doing is telling David West they want to appeal at second base.
Looks like it, yeah.
Appeal that Lansing possibly could have left second base too soon on the play, so we'll probably see West step onto the rubber, go into a stretch position, then step off and throw the ball back to Duncan at second base. Phillies already defensively in line to make that play. West steps off, checks the runner, throws to second.
Denied.
Jim Quick says no. Saw how that play was set up. Duncan was already at second base. Morandini already over backing up the throw to make sure that that ball wasn't tossed into center field because it is a live ball. If that ball gets away, Lansing has the opportunity to score from third base.
Moises Alou 0 for 3 in the game. Ground ball to second, ground ball to short, and a fly ball to right. Moises is 1 for 3 this year off David West. High a ball.
Now you have to remember that the pitcher's spot is on deck, Rojas' spot.
They've got Lou Frazier out there in his spot right now, Teak. A switch hitter.
So if you have confidence in your ability to throw strikes and pitch to Frazier with 2 outs, you may elect to pitch carefully to Lou in this situation, the hot hitter, and face the rookie Frazier.
Runner goes to second. They weren't paying that much attention to him, but the ball is fouled out of play. Frazier batted 3 times at Veterans Stadium off West, failing to get a hit each time. 1 ball and 1 strike on Alou. Alou with 4 RBIs in the series, and the one he would remember the most would be the next one. Alou is hitting at .287. Pop up, but it gets out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Alou.
Again, with the man on third base, Darren Dalton has to make sure that every ball that's thrown up there he gets in front of. Anything that's in the dirt, he has to block it and keep it in front of him.
The 1-2 pitch coming. Into center field. Dykstra over, says he can get it, and he does get it. So we're going to extra innings as the Expos have been retired. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel. Go to the 10th inning. The Phillies 6-0 in extra innings, and here they go against the Expos. Andy Musser with Kent DeColvey. And the Phillies, who trailed this game by 2 runs, have brought it back to dead even. And we're going to the 10th. The Phillies batters are going to be Kruk, Dalton, and Incaviglia. And Teak, Mel Rojas, who's been in every game in this series, is heading out there for his 3rd inning in this one.
And I think we saw Wetland warming up last inning. Didn't use him in the 9th inning with a lead, as Felipe Alou normally does. Now he's stretching Rojas to his 3rd inning after having pitched the previous 2 games.
Saw Gardner out there, but he didn't want to go to him. I don't know why he had him up.
Well, Gardner was up because of the pinch hitter on deck. He was going to, if we got down to Rojas's spot, Lou was going to have to hit for him, so he had to have Gardner ready. So that means even had the game been tied, Wetland was not coming in. Gardner was going to be in.
John Kruk fouls it. He is 1 for 4 at the plate tonight. John drove in a run in first. One ball and one strike. Colorado leading the Dodgers 3-1 in the 4th inning tonight. It's a strike. 1-2. Kruk rolls it on the right side, through for a base hit. A leadoff single by John Kruk to start the Phillies' 10th inning. Kruk's second hit of the night. Big single by John Kruk, and Darren Daulton comes up. Mitch Williams up in the Phillies bullpen. Dutch has had a good ball game. Single, double, and walk. He's 2 out of 3. Mitch is ready. Phillies get the lead. He'll be in. Got the big guys coming up. Daulton, Incaviglia, and Eisenreich. You've got a pitcher on the mound who has to be feeling some fatigue. I mean, he just has to be.
We're pitching that many innings, pitching 3 days in a row.
Back up the middle. Tag. Safe. Kruk is out. Daulton safe.
Dutch tops this ball out in front. DeShields does a nice job. Kruk goes to the inside to make DeShields extend himself to make the tag. Because he had to extend himself, he was off balance, couldn't get a whole lot on the throw, and Dutch just able to beat the play at first base. You see Krucker trying to get by him at first, makes DeShields chase him a little bit, and that gives Dutch just enough time to beat the play at first base. So the Phillies, instead of having a double play and having nobody on and 2 outs, have Dutch on at first with just 1 out.
And Eisenreich, and Incaviglia at the plate. He gets a ground ball, a curveball, and he grounds it to second. And this time the Expos do turn the double play. 6-4-3 double play. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left, and it's still a 3-3 game.
Master the art of pitching and catching with Play Ball the Major League way. You'll go inside the game.
Well, somebody's still got some energy left here as we go to the 10th inning. Glad to see it. We go to the bottom half of the 10th inning. Lou Frazier will be the leadoff hitter. He'll be batting for Mel Rojas, who pitched 3 innings. He gave up the tying home run to Dykstra, but otherwise did a decent job. Frazier is hitting at .315, a homer and 7 runs batted in, 4 for 14 as a pinch hitter. He's a switch hitter. He'll bat right-handed, of course, off West. David West in his 2nd inning of work has not given up a hit. He walked 2 last inning. Got away with it.
Frazier, a guy that West wants to keep off the base. You don't want the luxury of a leadoff walk for the Expos at this point. Frazier has been successful in 13 of 14 stolen base attempts this season.
Well, he was a big runner in the minor leagues. In 7 minor league seasons, he stole 342 bases. Two 2-0 on Frazier. Gardner. Oh boy. 3-0 on the leadoff man. be looking at a couple, and there's one of them. It's 3 balls and a strike on Lou Frazier out of St. Louis, Missouri. Frazier was first drafted by Houston back in 1986, taken in the secondary phase. Strike 2. Well, West serving notice. He's going to have to swing the bat. Walked him. So Frazier does get the leadoff walk, and he will have to be watched. Teak gave you the numbers on his steals. 13 stolen bases in 14 tries.
And unlike last inning when Lansing was the leadoff base runner and did not run, the reason Lansing wasn't running because you were seeing Grissom, Walker, and Colburn were coming up. Now the Expos at the bottom of their lineup, much more likely to run. And look at the lead that he has at first base. He's got both feet on the turf.
Both feet out. He's daring West, and West has to throw over there. He absolutely has to. Absolutely had to throw the ball there.
Whether that's a one-way lead or not, you have to throw over there. And Frazier probably wanting West to throw over, so he gets an idea of what kind of move that he has.
Get a look.
Again, both feet out on the turf.
That's amazing.
That might be the biggest lead I've ever seen. You got to have a lot of confidence in your ability to get back.
And he throws with that lead, and Laker puts the bunt down. West left. Oh, the ball is dropped by Morandini. It rolls to right field. Frazier goes to third. Laker safe at second. A big blunder for the Phillies. Sacrifice and an error.
Laker does a nice job of getting the ball down. David West off the mound in plenty of time. Turns, makes the throw to first base. A little bit wide to the inside. I don't know if the error is going to be on West for the wide throw or for Morandini not being able to handle it. Was not a good throw, but was not a bad throw either. It was high into the inside, but not that wild a throw that Morandini might not have been able to handle it.
Error is charged to West. It's a sacrifice, of course, and now this is a situation where not only the infield comes in, but the outfield comes in. Cordero will get the free pass to load him up, and then they'll go at the top of the lineup with the bases loaded and nobody out, and it's desperation time now. So West causing his own problems here with the walk and the error.
David dug himself into a hole last inning with the walks, was able to get out of it. He's going to be in a very deep hole here in just a second as soon as he issues his fourth wide one to Cordero.
So they are loaded now. No outs in the inning, and the defense short all the way around. Delino DeShields is the batter. You've got a lot of opportunities to win the game here. You can hit it through a hole, you can hit it in the air over their heads. A lot of ways you can win the ball game, but this is the only defense that makes sense.
The Phillies with the infield in, the outfield in. The outfield has to play in shallow enough that if they catch the ball on a fly ball, they can throw the runner out at the plate. Frazier, as we mentioned, at third base with excellent speed, so you have to play way in. And if you get that ball in the outfield, get rid of it in a hurry.
Inside, ball one. Delino grounded into double play the last time up.
Don't even think about a double play at this point in time. Everybody's trying to get a force out at the plate.
The only double play that you could look for would be a 1-2-3 kind of thing. Foul back, or maybe a line drive double play, but not the routine kind. You got to make sure the run doesn't score. First priority. West has not given up a hit.
But he has walked 4.
Yeah, he's been in constant trouble because of that. Very high, 2 balls, 1 strike.
Nobody throwing in the Philly bullpen. Jim Fregosi saying to David West, you got into it. It's your job to get out of it.
He swung at that. A weak swing, 2-2 on Delino.
Very weak attempt by the Shields on that pitch. Possibly ball 3 out away from him. Now he just has to be looking to hit the ball on the ground hard somewhere. There's so many, with the infield in, the holes in the infield become so large. You just want to hit the ball on the ground and hit it hard somewhere.
Struck him out. So West gets one big out.
Thank you very much, Delino DeShields.
Chased one too, didn't he?
He chased that last one for sure, possibly the one before that. Here we see the fastball by West way up at eye level, out of the strike zone by a mile. DeShields goes after it. West now with the first out in the inning. The Philly defense still playing in for a play at the plate. Lansing with good speed. You don't want to take the chance of trying to turn the double play and not getting it. Outfield still in shallow, the same as before.
High and away to Lansing, ball 1. Dalton turns around and shouts something out at David. West has been in trouble since he entered the ballgame. He walked the leadoff batter both innings that he's been out there tonight. Got away with it in the 9th. Ball 2. Lansing walked his last time up. He was the first batter that West faced, and he walked him. David steps off. Pressure spot for the Phillies, who have not lost an extra inning game. 6-0. Strike, 2-1.
David West has put himself in a position where he has to challenge Lansing. You can't even try to pitch at this point. You just have to go power on power and throw the ball hard down the middle of the plate. Hopefully he'll hit a ground ball right at somebody and get a force out at the plate.
Swing and a miss by Lansing. It's 2-2. Fortunately, West has the kind of fastball that you can do that and hope to be successful.
Lansing swinging at that two ball, 1 strike pitch again. A pitch that could possibly have been a strike, but it was borderline up.
Low and inside. We've got a full count. Now West must throw a strike. Bases loaded. Full count. 1 out.
Cordero at third base, the only runner that really counts right now. Excuse me, Frazier at third base.
In the air to center field. Lenny has to go back. Here comes Frazier, and the Expos win the game 4-3. A sacrifice fly run batted in for Lansing, and the Expos have beaten the Phillies 4-3, the first time the Phillies have lost in extra innings this year. You're watching Phillies baseball on Sports Channel.